the fun with Balzac. Hit it.
Hello. I am sorry, but I must
31
interrupt this
Grammy,
show.
Grammy.
You know what it is. Hey, ham solo. It's time, baby. Low. It's turn how we do. Hey.
They said we said we in. They said we said we on. They said we said strong. They said we said go. We say that you heard right. 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 They said we said we in. They said we said on. They said we said strong. They said we said go. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right.
Man, I swear that it's imminent. I've been going so hard on my penmanship. About to go in and buy me a whip. And I pull that shit fresh off the dealership. I can leave you on red like an Xbox. Got me laughing at you like you Red Fox. Got you chasing Hot Wheels like a Matchbox. EA running the game and it don't stop. Super cold like I'm playing for Blitz. Cause you all in my sights like Red Dead Redemption. Never gonna slip on my pimpin'. Better get out my way, bitch, I'm on a mission. Really ain't no competition. I'm steady grilling opposition. I'm get up and ready to win. They can play it how they play, but fuck what you say. I'm getting this money today. Last of us like a dying breed. Down the ride like a noble steed. Fatality moves, I make it bleed. That's on any game, that's on any screen. Shut up and give me your money. They said we so lit. Even if I take an L, we coming back just to show that we don't quit. They said we said we in. They said we said we on. They said we said strong. They said we said go. We say that you heard right. 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 They said we said we in. They said we said on. They said we said strong. They said we said go. We say that you
Blow it up now.
Yo, what's cracking? Do I have my mic on? Do you guys hear me good? You guys good?
I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Good to hear you, Cozy. I appreciate all your help. Shout out already to the Evil Click AEC founder saying, what's up? Here early with the $2 super chat. And I tell you what, like, that's the nicest thing he's probably ever said that I can remember. Usually I'm reading something that I'm like, I wouldn't read that unless it was me in paper. Or something like that. But I love you guys. Thank you guys for showing up. Welcome to another episode of Bullsitting with me, Cozy Beluga, and Matt Likes Games. Make sure you come through next week as well. We're going to be having possibly Mental 9R coming back. Maybe Loke as well. I don't know. But I do know Cassie Cage said that she wants to come through and have some, you know, I guess probably debauchery. I don't know. Some sort of terrible talks that we're going to have next week. It's going to be insane. It's going to be a good time as usual. We're going to be messy. We're going to have fun. Ain't nobody going to get harmed in this field. No animals are going to get harmed in this film. It's going to be
Maybe
a good time. Maybe one. Yeah. Cozy's pointing at it right now. She's going to get a call from PETA here shortly.
Look how quiet.
But anyways, let's talk about what we've been up to, what we've been playing, what's been going on in our lives. I will go last on that one because I'm probably going to take the longest. But let me go on ahead first to Cozy, since ladies first this time. I'm gonna try to be a gentleman. All right, I'm gonna try to be a gentleman. You go on ahead. Let us know what's been cracking with you. What have you been playing? What have you been doing?
I've mostly just been still trying to get back into things. Twitter is the fastest to get you your access back to stuff. They're really quick with it. I was like, I knew my password and everything, and I just like changed my password, and I sent them this, sent it to support, and they were like, okay, we'll turn off two-factor authentication, and I was back in. Everyone else is slow about it. Man, two-factor authentication sucks. This is why you two-factor authenticate just to an email and then have it bounce off another email. Because now I can't,
Never
anyway.
your phone. Never your phone.
Well, I was using the Authenticator app. And the Authenticator app does not.
I did the same thing. And then I got a new phone and I completely forgot about it. And I was like, oh, yeah, I can't access that anymore. That's cool.
Yep.
That's neat.
That's all I'm doing.
Something to think about.
It is.
Speaking of passwords, though, Cozy, did you guys hear about the password leaks? Supposedly, I'm not sure how true that was, or
what.
let me see if I can find it real quick. I'll put it
Uh-oh.
up on the screen.
I have a good password. My passwords are never leaked.
Well, it kind of doesn't matter whether you have a great password or not. If your password is somehow hacked into and they can see what your password is, it doesn't matter
I'm gonna change it.
how pretty or long or sophisticated it is. That's like really your only thing that you could do. Hacked passwords. Oh man, I'm probably gonna get I'm probably gonna get hit by a freaking data center now.
Oh
We're just
no.
typing that in. All right, so yeah,
Well,
let me share this tab real quick right here. So it says, yeah, it looks like it is real. It said 16 billion Google, Apple, and other passwords leaked in a record data breach.
Wow.
This was 4 hours ago.
Guess I'll have to change my Google password. Give you a pro tip: always use the same password for everything, and that way it's easy to remember. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. But yeah, I need to change my Google password.
mine are all crazy acronyms, but I'm only screwed if my computer goes down because the password, I don't really care about the password. You can't get in my email without accessing the pin that's on any of my emails without accessing the pin that's on my computer. So my accounts are like actually right now it's kind of annoying because I have to figure out how to get them back on my phone because it's like we need that pin and I'm like I can't put the pin on my phone.
Yeah, shout out to Web Dave, and he says, "Let's go," just to start the show. But Cozy, that's what you've been up to. I know we kind of derailed and started talking about.
Oh yeah, I've
passwords and
been
whatnot, but
playing.
continue.
I just been playing Grounded in anticipation of Grounded 2. I've been playing this game, Heroes of Ruin, which is basically more Vampire Survivors, and I've been playing Altars, and this is terrible. This is terrible. I promised I wouldn't touch it, but I've also been playing Vampire
Overwatch.
Survivors.
Oh damn it!
Oh no,
I thought
no.
you were gonna say you got to switch too.
I'm staying strong about no. I'm not buying a Switch 2. Why would I buy a device that I can't play Animal Crossing on? Well, I can, but I already have a device I can play Animal Crossing on.
Maybe you want it to look nicer. I don't know.
The way Nintendo manages cloud saves, I wouldn't even bother.
Fair enough. All right. Well, that's what you've been playing lately. I do want to hear about Altars here shortly. I will.
Okay.
I'm gonna come back to that because I want to hear what you have to say about that. I haven't got to touch that game. I heard it was pretty good, but I don't know. Matt, what's cracking, brother? I haven't been online to kick it and whatnot. I'm having a lot of things going on lately, but so I haven't been able to really keep up with what you've been doing. But I know you had a video that kind of went nuts the other day on your channel, Matt Likes Games, talking about Car X from the developers. I don't what are the developers' names?
It's CarX Technologies is the
Oh,
developer.
What day?
yeah, I know you.
What was
What?
2 days ago? This was 2 days ago, I think.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. His video was a couple days ago. You got sponsored essentially by them giving you the code and allowing you to review it, and they shared out your video to talk about.
They did.
Woohoo!
They did, and shout out to them because the video's at like 2.5K right now. So thanks to dude, I was kind of worried that I'd put that video because I really I love the game. Like I think I said it in the video, whether they gave me a code or not, I was gonna get the game. But the fact that they gave me a code was just kind of like icing on the cake. But like I love the game. I made the video. I was kind of worried that I would wake up and see that it was at like 30 views or something. But they literally shared, which I didn't even know you could do on YouTube. They shared out the video on their YouTube, which I did not know was a thing, but it is. And I woke up and it was at like 600 views, and it's only gone up since then. And like I said, it's at like check it now real quick. It's last I checked, which was like last night, is at 2.5K. So
Yeah, it's at like 26 now.
yeah,
I just
yeah.
checked
So
it.
there
I
we
just
go.
checked it. So
There we go.
yeah, if we pop back out, yeah, 26 right here.
There we go. So yeah, I did.
So
I
it
did
is still
that.
growing.
I did that. It's good to see. I did that. I'll also say off of that, what's grown pretty big off of that is the subscribers I have. Because I went from like 1,015 to like 1,043 right now. So I got like almost 30 subscribers off of that. Which I guess shout out to CarX Technologies for that. But yeah, I mean,
It's just
you
the whole
mentioned that.
squad over there.
Could be. I have no idea. I know, like,
Could
dude,
be.
I know they shared it out and it got like on their post it got like 30 or 40 likes or something like that, and a few people commented. Um, but yeah, people saw the video. That's what I've been playing mostly the past, I don't know, week. I put a lot of time in on it on PC, and then I got the code for Xbox, and I put even more time in it on Xbox. Um, so that's been my week pretty much gaming wise. Like I've been trying to play Outer Worlds because I want to go through that again and get through all the DLCs this time before Outer Worlds 2. So I've been doing that here and there. I just pre-ordered Death Stranding 2. I got the early access for that. That comes out Tuesday at midnight.
Uh-oh.
So I'm looking forward to that. I was thinking about maybe trying to play some Death Stranding, but I was like, there's no way I'm gonna beat Death Stranding in 3 days before Death Stranding 2. Because I've already beat it. I was like, maybe I'll play it and get a refresher. I'm not gonna do that. I'm going right into Death Stranding 2. But it's mostly been CarX, buddy. CarX, a little bit of FBC Firebreak. I've been having issues with that because I've been getting disconnected in games, unfortunately. So I haven't been able to play as much of that as I kind of want to. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. What about you?
All right. So yeah, I guess
Uh-oh.
I'm last. Is something wrong?
Nothing.
Okay. So like as you guys know, I've been moving and getting stuff done as of recently. I just got a job that I started last week, and my schedule should be smoothing out by the end of next week to where I could start doing the things I was doing and maybe even more, a little bit more regularly. Outside of getting the new job, start hitting the gym a little bit. 'Cause it's time to get a little bit more healthy for sure. Um, got a little membership at a really nice gym, so I'm excited to go to it. I went to it earlier today and just hanging out, getting doing the sauna. Did a little bit of bike walk for a while. Did some stair stepper. So yeah, I put in a little bit of work. It was tough, but it was nice relaxing in the jacuzzi afterward. It was pretty cool. So knocking out that, but outside of IRL, as for games, I've been playing a lot of Dune Awakening. Like anytime I have Seawolf says I should swim. Yeah, I mean I definitely want to
Yeah,
swim.
swimming's great.
I definitely want to swim. They got a swimming pool there, a nice indoor pool. And I just didn't bring the gear, and I was kind of on a time crunch because the wife needed the truck since the car is in the shop right now, which I'm super excited about. The car's in the shop because we're about to hit that 100,000 mile mark
Woo
in the
woo.
car, and you gotta get it all checked over and make sure that they ain't gonna owe us nothing before because once it hits that 100,000, it's done.
Maybe the timing belt.
Yeah, exactly. Get all that stuff checked out, and then let's see. So yeah, I got I'm getting all the car stuff taken care. I actually paid off the car as I moved down here. There was about $4,000 or $5,000 left on the car, and I just knocked it out, just paid it off, so I don't have to worry about that. That's one less bill a month, and it wasn't a fun bill to pay. So I'm all done with
Yeah.
that. IRL stuff, good. Dune Awakening is what I've been playing a crap ton of. I've been absolutely loving that game. Play it a little bit with some friends every once in a while whenever they hop on, but I've been mostly just rocking with it solo for the most part. Unfortunately, I mean, I definitely need to start playing with some other people and stuff like that, because that will get me where I need or where I want to go a lot faster. But I'm absolutely loving it. Yeah, but that's what I've been pretty much up to as of lately. There's a lot of stuff to talk about outside of Matt's video. Really good. As you guys seen, I had the whole Dune Awakening thing on there because that's what I've been playing lately. But as for what I want to talk about, I'm pretty interested in what everybody has to say about this. We're gonna be talking about a few different things. The first thing we're gonna talk about, we're gonna get out of the way, is the whole AMD Microsoft building a future together and whatnot. They've been working together prior, but it seems like this one's quite a bit tighter of a relationship than some of the prior ones. We'll also divvy into how Steam may really be the thing that takes over, that takes off for the new Xbox piece of hardware that they may come out with that comes to your TV. We'll talk about also, and this is the one I'm most interested about, why modern gaming sucks. And there's a video attached to that subject when we get to talk about it. And then last, we're going to hit up and talk about from Hazardor Gaming on Twitter. He had a bunch of news that he just kind of vomited out that just happened throughout the last week. And I just thought that we should just touch on that stuff as we are getting out of here. But first thing is first, let's go on ahead and talk about this whole Microsoft and AMD thing. And I'm going to, I'm going to be chivalrous once again. And I guess we can talk about that if you want, Seawolf. He says Marathon's dead, but I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. Like it kind of is.
It's not dead. It's just delayed indefinitely.
Yeah, it's the same. I mean, they said the same thing about Last of Us Online, right?
Yeah, it's delayed.
They said literally the exact same thing.
But the difference there is that Last of Us didn't steal its entire cadence from artists. So yeah, it could be dead.
Man,
it might very well be dead.
You need to chill.
It's true though. They're fucked.
Is it though?
Yes, it is.
Is it verified though?
Yes, they got her art. That lady. I forget her name. They got her art plastered throughout the whole game. Like
they all followed her.
Okay.
A bunch of them were following her, and then they copy paste her art. And she had a unique. She had watermarks, specific watermarks, and that's how she knew.
Yep.
She said it was like something very obscure that you'd watermark it with, and then yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm not sure if you even need the obscure watermark with just the ridiculous amount of copy and paste that you just kind of seen.
Well, that's the thing. They copied and pasted and didn't even bother to take out the watermark. They just left all that shit in.
And they didn't even.
I mean, I thought the watermark was. I mean, I guess your guys are saying the watermark, but I'm just calling it the design.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like a design. It just looked like a bunch of different designs, and they were just, and it was like they just changed the color of it and just put it on a wall in the game. Yeah, but anyways, I don't want to talk about that because we've ran over Marathon over and over, and like I don't really care about the game. If it actually did come out, let's say it came out tomorrow, I wouldn't care. The only thing I'd be interested in player numbers, because I'd be like, why is this game coming out when you're clearly not? I mean, that's the only thing I'd be interested in, is just how the survival of it. But now there's nothing to talk about with it. It's gone. Essentially, seemingly. But as I was saying, let me keep the chivalry moving a little bit. Let it flow through me a little bit longer before I reach to the screen and start choking Cozy. But anyways, get and get my OJ on. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Relax. But anyways, AMD and Microsoft building a relationship. I want to hear what you have to. What are your thoughts about that, Cozy? Because not only did Microsoft come out and kind of because. I feel like in the past, Microsoft would come out and like boast about something, and like sometimes the other party would be like, or like it seemed like maybe the other party wasn't quite as on board or as proud as Microsoft was. But this time, it seems like, yo, this is the head of AMD right there. And right after Sarah Bond made her video, she made a video like it was like they were FaceTiming each other just live in front of everybody, but like it was two separate like voicemails to each other, essentially talking to investors and stuff, right? Because I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
talking to each other,
Yeah.
but they were essentially talking to investors and people that are big into the ecosystem that is AMD or Microsoft, right? So, Cozy, please. Spill the tea.
So this is good for AMD.
Good
so
for
I think,
AMD.
yeah, so if you look at what's been going on with GPU, I'm not talking about the specifically the consumer market. If you look at a lot of what's been going on behind the scenes is Nvidia getting all the good contracts.
Yep.
Mm,
They don't
yeah.
deserve it.
Nintendo one's a big one right now, right?
No, not just that. The Nvidia contracts
Oh
are
yeah.
insane. I can't speak more on the fact that on it, but other than to say,
Are you talking about like
NVIDIA
Nvidia, like with business or?
yes, all businesses,
Oh,
not just
okay.
Nintendo, all overall, like
So you're talking outside of gaming. You're just saying just in general.
yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
This is getting a contract with Microsoft is really good for AMD. It's really good. Building a partnership with them.
Why is it good for AMD though, in your opinion? Because you
Oh,
really like you
oh,
started out by saying it's good for AMD, and I'm like,
because a lot of the
huh?
market is overwhelmingly not like I'm not talking the consumer market. The market is overwhelmingly Nvidia, overwhelmingly, and especially in the future, a lot of like the graphics stuff, a lot of the stuff that is used to build on these on gaming is going to be virtualized. I think that's something
Okay.
that
Well,
don't really understand what that's a lot of that's happening in the background.
all right. So I'm gonna go. I'm actually gonna play back to back both of the videos before I go. And actually, I'm a backtrack to you, Cozy, just so you can, if you have any final thoughts after seeing this, you can have them, and then Matt, you can go on ahead and speak, and then I'll have my moment. But let's go on ahead and check this out, and I'll also get the other one queued up ready. Let me know if you guys can't hear it.
At Xbox, our vision is for you to play the games you want with the people
You good?
want.
You can hear it?
anywhere you
Yeah,
want.
yeah.
That's why we're investing
All right,
in our
great.
next generation hardware lineup across console, handheld, PC, cloud, and accessories. I am thrilled to share we've established a strategic multi-year partnership with AMD to co-engineer silicon across a portfolio of devices, including our next generation Xbox consoles, in your living room and in your hands. Together with AMD, we are advancing the state of art in gaming silicon to deliver the next generation of graphics innovation to unlock a deeper level of visual quality and immersive gameplay and player experiences enhanced with the power of AI, all while maintaining compatibility with your existing library of Xbox games. This is all about building you a gaming platform that's always with you, so you can play the games you want across devices anywhere you want, delivering you an Xbox experience not locked to a single store or tied to one device. That's why we're working closely with the Windows team to ensure that Windows is the #1 platform for gaming. The next generation of Xbox is coming to life, and this is just the beginning. We can't wait to show you what's next.
And then I guess we might as well go straight to AMD's.
AMD and Microsoft are
from
advancing
Lisa
a bold
Su.
shared vision for the future of gaming, one that enables seamless gameplay across any screen, placing gamers at the center of the experience anywhere. We're so excited to be deepening our relationship with Microsoft and build on the over 2 decades of partnership, innovation, and trust. From the earliest days of the Xbox 360 to the most advanced consoles such as the Xbox Series X and S, and the recently announced ROG Xbox Ally handhelds. Moving forward, AMD will go beyond building custom chips for Xbox consoles to designing a full roadmap of gaming-optimized chips combining the power of Ryzen and Radeon for consoles, handhelds, PCs, and the cloud. And we're doing it all with backwards compatibility, so gamers can access their favorite titles across platforms, delivering on a promise to both gamers and developers. Together, we are building a vibrant open ecosystem that delivers the next generation of graphics and immersive gameplay powered by AI that includes new foundational models to accelerate the state-of-the-art in rendering. From console to cloud to handheld, AMD and Microsoft are building the future of immersive gaming. We are so excited to be working with Microsoft to bring all of this tech to gamers everywhere.
All right, I'm just gonna let that loop, and I'm gonna mute that. So back to you, Cozy. Any extra thoughts that you have after hearing what they have to say? And then I'm gonna throw a question on top of that, just in case you don't have it. How do you think they will be able to help out in the sense of this reaching everything more than just making like the ROG Ally and the actual console for Xbox? Like, do you know how this may benefit like cloud and other stuff? Go on ahead.
Yes. So as much as
You're a big cloud person, so I gotta ask you.
not just that.
Matt's becoming more big cloud too,
What can I?
as he gets more disconnected from his
I'm trying to put
stuff.
this
But
in
go on ahead.
the possible way. So these companies that are building this cloud infrastructure, because remember, at some point the hardware becomes too expensive for them to just keep putting more pressure on it. And at some point we're getting to the point where a lot of technology can be offloaded to elsewhere. A lot of the good contracts for that software, for that hardware, are NVIDIA. Because what they do is you build you build servers that can handle a lot of this computation. So it's really. So
Bird's
you
an
build servers that can
NVIDIA
handle
fan.
this, and
Telling you to shut up.
NVIDIA has a lot of sway in that. They are pretty much most of the market. So this is good for AMD because this gives AMD a big partnership. Not just, here's like a specific chip, but here are, our GPUs, here are the chips, here's like our stuff that's going to be powering a lot of these devices. Wait, you went quiet, right?
I literally hit the mute button and then started talking. But anyways, no, I'm saying, so is what you're saying the benefit could be more or less of the companies not mix matching who they're dealing with and only dealing through this in particular other company who will provide the latest stuff that they have in might I add as well, because Matt's been kind of talking about this quite a bit, in a good time for them because they've been kind of on an upswing for like the past 5-7 years. AMD has like not just like the CPUs were questionable versus Intel, and then now they're just flat out better. And now their GPUs were questionable against NVIDIA, and now they're competitive and price worthy, right? And better than Intel's. Like they're in a strong second place, nowhere near first, but in a very strong second place. So now adding someone that creates an operating system for them to work hand in hand with so they can, do the best with what they have with the operating system with their actual hardware in place. I agree with you, Cozy. That's kind of what you want, whether you're AMD or Microsoft. Like this is kind of, they need each other in this type of advancement that they're trying to, maneuver into. Do you have any extra thoughts outside of that?
No, this is just that this is good for AMD because they've been over the years becoming a bigger and bigger player, like you said, and this is a good space to get in.
Okay, before I go to you, Matt, I got to ask you one last thing, Cozy.
Mm-hmm.
What could be bad about this?
Trying to think of downsides.
I mean, it's interesting that you're thinking hard.
The only
that's a
thing
good
that I think
sign.
could be bad about this is if the particular chips that and GPUs that AMD provides and makes aren't as up to par as they need them to be on the not what's the opposite of consumer, on the business side.
I'm sorry, say that again.
If they're what they are providing isn't up to par on the business side, this could be a really big bad thing for them.
Okay, that's kind of interesting. Do you care to expand on that a little bit more? Like, I guess I'm kind of like wondering how it'd affect the business side.
Because this is about the business side. This isn't about like most people think when they think like, oh, Nvidia and AMD, they think that us consumers are really where it's at. The businesses that they work with to get their equipment into are what matters. Nvidia is like 80% of that. And AMD and others are scrapping on whatever's left.
Interesting. Okay.
Like consumer GPUs don't really matter in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
No, I get that. I 100% get that. And I mean, I feel like that's why Nvidia's can get away with what they do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, they get so much from businesses that at the end of the day, they make something that they call excessive, which is kind of a minor upgrade, and then they tell you to pay an excessive price for it. But but anyways, Matt, you've been quiet. You didn't have a chance to speak yet. I want to hear your thoughts on this whole, together we advance with AMD and Microsoft working together. What are your kind of thoughts on that after seeing Sarah Bond and Lisa Sue talk?
Sounds great. Like they're saying all the right things. I think the big thing for me, and it seems like a lot of people, is what everyone's latching onto is the mention of backwards compatibility. Games that you own, working with Xbox to make sure that the games that you've bought continue to be playable across, in their words, different platforms. Um, would be, I mean, if that means what we all kind of assume it means, that's a very big deal. I think I do agree with Cozy. It's a very good thing for AMD just considering the fact that Nvidia's kind of just been a monster and the market, both on the consumer and the business side for years and years and years. So it's a good thing for AMD to see, because this is the most I've ever seen. Because like AMD powers all the consoles. I mean, outside of the Switch, Nvidia does that. But like the PS5, the Series X, the Xbox One, the PS4, like all that stuff was AMD. So it's like
Mhm.
it's interesting now that more it seems more than ever they're kind of intertwined with AMD. Like, and they're making a big deal out of it. Is kind of the thing that I think has a lot of people talking, because like I just said, like it's been a thing forever. The last Xbox was powered by AMD. The 360 was powered by AMD. Like, it's not new. It's just the fact that it's the terminology, I guess. It's Sarah Bond talking about making Windows the best platform for gaming, mixed with what Lisa Su was saying about the backwards compatibility and everything. It's I I'm excited. I'm very excited. I've it's not like I haven't been excited for the future of Xbox, but it's been kind of questionable in the last year. But to see like them kind of doubling down on what they're doing and what they think is right, time will tell if that is the case. But I don't know. It's exciting. It's exciting to see. I want to see what they're talking about when they say multiple platforms and play all the games that you bought on those platforms. It's gonna be interesting to see that. Hopefully, we don't have to wait too long to find that out. I would imagine next year, maybe, but we'll see.
Yeah, here's something from Derek Strickland, which we have another thing from here in a little
Hmm.
bit. But he posted, from the sound of it, Microsoft and AMD may be creating a new chip standard that will be used across a fleet of Xbox hardware dash devices. Standardized like, say, the current PC dash mobile environment, easily translatable hardware that alleviates the need for custom chips. Okay, so so there's one other, there's one other elephant in the room I want to bring. And I got to ask the both of you, like either one of you feel the need to answer, go on ahead and just speak up. But where do you feel like, because like I said, another elephant that's in the room is PlayStation. And they have
Yeah.
a deal currently with AMD as well that they just renewed. AMD came out and talked about it just like they're talking about with the Xbox One, right? I feel like I feel like there's similarities, but I want to know: do you guys understand, or do you guys have any idea what the differences here could be compared to the partnership AMD has with Sony versus the partnership that they'll have with Microsoft?
So I think kind of what Derek Strickland said. Um, like with PlayStation, I mean, he didn't say the part about PlayStation, but like with PlayStation, they're building like same as the PS4, same as the PS5. They're giving them a custom chip to put inside of their specific box. Versus AMD with Xbox seems to be like, hey, we're going to give you custom chips to put inside of many different things. Which is, I mean, maybe that's not the case, but the way they're talking about it, both Lisa Su and Sarah Bond in their videos, it seems to be that versus like the traditional thing, like with PlayStation and with Xbox this generation, is like you have the one box with its chip inside, and that's it. It seems to be like a multi-device kind of partnership with AMD and Xbox. I mean, they even said as much. I mean, Lisa Su even said as much in her video, mentioning playing across different platforms.
But like, I mean, like, I guess what I'm asking is, do you think it'll be the same old slap chip on one thing as the other thing? Do you think it's going to be totally different? I know PlayStation is kind of on their own road right now, right? But I guess, they're still, getting games from Microsoft, as well as they have some, backdoor partnerships as well that people don't ever really talk about. That Microsoft and Sony do work together on some stuff. So, like, what's to say, like, it's not going to be pretty much the same damn thing just slapped on to both of the consoles? Cozy, do you think something like that could happen, or do you think this is like
It's different.
two like
Stop
totally
thinking
different things?
consoles. Stop thinking consoles. Just so
I like it.
that's the first step. Like a lot of people
Right.
who hear this, especially in the realm of like gamers, they think consoles. For Sony, a large portion of that, yes, will be consoles because Sony is an entertainment company. They don't have, we already know they don't have that sort of infrastructure. I mean, but maybe they could be using it to build some sort of infrastructure. But as of now, they need the PlayStation to stay PlayStation. Microsoft is building a very different infrastructure, and that would require a different set of uh chips. Like Sony is less like, a lot of the, super AI powered, and I don't mean don't I know people hear AI and they're like, ugh, but a lot of computing that is handled by AI that offloads a lot of the stuff that happens in games and those processes and even beyond that. Um that is something that Microsoft has need for that Sony does not.
Matt,
Mm.
when you hear, like Cozy just said, when you hear the phrase "the power of AI,"
Yeah.
what excites you about it?
What excites me about the power of AI?
Yeah, because because AMD, Nvidia, Microsoft, I mean Sony
Everybody.
now, yeah,
Fucking
all
everybody.
these companies now are
Yeah.
like that is like the new buzzword. Like, remember back in like like oh 07, oh 09, 1080p was like the buzzword, right? Like 1080p,
Yeah.
1080p. And then you'd go to the store and buy an HDMI cable for $100 right? You get
Yeah.
1080p. But now like the buzzword is AI, everything AI. So like, what excites you with that? Because we already know everybody's nervousness with it, but like, what
Yeah.
actually makes you kind of stoked when you hear that?
Well, I mean, there's certain things like I don't think it's okay to be like blanket statement AI is bad. Um, because there are applications specifically what we're talking about here. Like, I mean, in terms of gaming, just like kind of the development process. Obviously, um, you like to see things that are like handcrafted by people and stuff, but like not everything. I mean, sometimes things are just time consuming. It doesn't need to be handcrafted. It can just be something that an AI takes care of, saves you time and money, gets the game out the door faster in a lot of cases. Like that's a good thing to me. Um I I think that's probably the most exciting. I mean, in terms of gaming, that'd probably be the most exciting part is like, perhaps if this is leveraged right, it could cut down on game development times and cost in ways that we seemingly haven't been able to do in the last 5 years because games just keep getting way more expensive every single year. So that's a positive for sure. And then I guess in terms of like the hardware itself, I'm not even gonna pretend like I know everything about this because I really don't. But I would imagine you look at what Nvidia's done. and AMD is now doing with FSR4, but NVIDIA did it with DLSS, of like, hey, we're going to, instead of like having to use pure rasterization on everything, we have AI built into our GPU, and it can just basically give you free performance. Now, I think that's great when it comes to uh, DLSS. I think for frame gen, there's still work that needs to be done, especially like when you're doing, like how Nvidia is doing like the 4 times frame gen, where it's like a game goes from like 30 FPS to like 240. There's no way that feels like 240. I mean, I have frame gen on my 4070 Ti. Sometimes with that, and that's only 2 times frame gen, you're like, this doesn't feel like the FPS that they're telling me it is. But like over time, that stuff gets better, so that's exciting. I mean, there's a few things to be excited about with AI. It's just, be a little cautious, but there's no reason to be entirely down on it.
Okay, so Cozy,
Yeah.
you you're usually really good about like being like fuck what everybody thinks, right?
Hmm.
Like I'm gonna say how I feel it is, like it is, at least for you. You're good at that. So I know first and foremost, because you let it be known fairly quickly that when they started bringing up this AI stuff, you were just like, do it. Bring it out. Of course, you were like, don't let it be at the cost of individuals that, made their hard work, right? But push the envelope. The future is the future. We're not going to fucking stop it. Right? So I want to hear what your thoughts are on both sides now, because I'm going to hear what Matt has to say afterwards. But what is the positives and the negatives? I want you to start with the positives first of AI, because Matt said that obviously it's going to be more cost effective. And obviously it could cut down the time while producing the same, if not better product. Of course, possibly worse product, but it could cut down time. And Techland is one group that said they're tired of making 7-year
Yep.
games. They said the
3 to 4
Dying
years.
Light 1 and Dying Light 2 both were 7 years apiece, 14 years to come out
Yep.
with 2 games. And they don't like it. And I mean, what business would like to constantly be paying for something for 7 years just to hopefully make a profit from it?
Yeah.
Right? So they're looking to be more around 3 to 4 years, 5 if they have to delay or something like that. But they want to be about 4 years. Cozy, what do you think is the benefits for some of these companies, in particularly in this conversation, AMD and Microsoft, with the benefits of using AI? They talk about it all the time. What are the benefits of it, and then what are some of the negatives?
The benefits of it are in terms of a lot of what is going to be happening. You're not going to have these AIs that are creating vast worlds. These AIs are going to facilitate a lot of offloading, like I said, the offloading of a lot of the computation, a lot of the graphical needs, so that when you make a game, you don't have to worry as much about hardware limitations.
One thing, Cozy, I mean, I'm just going to kind of throw a extra, I guess like an extra layer on top of it. Kojima was like when they were talking about making the game OD and stuff like that, they were talking about how they wanted to kind of be able to work the cloud within the game. Right? And I think that would be part of how you'd be using AI to like update and do stuff in the background in real time, instead of forcing you to constantly do like hardware updates for certain things. They could just kind of be doing it while you're playing the game, and it's kind of loading on there, and assets are refreshing and stuff like that in the background. I'm not sure exactly how all that stuff works, but I thought that's how that's how I understood it.
Yeah. So games, we know games are expensive. We know games are what you call it, and like all those little things are everything that makes up a game has some little piece of something that's like can lead to more problems. Especially if you're trying to make something that's less simple, something that's graphically um intensive and complex, and that is the kind of application that I'm talking about. That sort of thing is what a lot of that AI will be used for,
Okay.
in addition to just basically not having to worry about hardware limitations as much. We are going to be soon, I mean not soon, but we are going to be moving in a post hardware world sooner than most people think.
Sooner than most people want to,
Yeah.
I'm sure. And yeah, I think there's just gonna, and the way they're gonna do it is there's gonna be some games that you just can't play without playing it that way, and it's just like DRM, right? There's some games you just can't play it. It has DRM. If you don't like that, then you can't play the game. But if it's popular enough, there's going to be a bunch of people playing it, and no one's going to care about your feelings. That's the fact of the matter. So, and I think that exact same thing's going to happen if they come out with a game that is like utilized in a way where it like you kind of have to be on the cloud to play it or something like that. And then all of a sudden, the next game comes out like that. I don't know. It's going to make people mad, but if the game's good enough, a lot of people are just going to be like, shut the fuck up, it doesn't matter. But anyways, yeah, so there was lots to talk about this week, but there was another little piece about, the whole Xbox and marriage of these different platforms being available on their hardware. Derek Strickland once again had a post right here where he did a what do you call those? A vote or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And he says if Microsoft's next gen console boots Windows and plays PC games, then what PC store will you use the most? And I think the obvious choice kind of won.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, everybody loves Steam. Everybody loves Steam. Even if you're an Xbox player, you probably like Steam.
Not me.
Yeah,
Not cozy.
No. Yeah, I've had this conversation before. I usually don't buy games on Steam. I'm much more of a GOG gamer.
Which is actually funny that you bring that up. It is extra funny that you bring that up. Give me like 2 seconds and you'll see why it's funny. Right here. Bam. Right here. After Derek Strickland said that, GOG repeats back and says, we've heard some good stuff about GOG, so we'll go with them. Which you can see they're the 3% on the bottom. Epic Game Store. I mean, bro, Derek even tried to put him up above, and it just didn't matter.
Oof.
Nobody cared.
You probably could have put the EA launcher there. They might have scored more than the Epic Game Store. Dude, people really don't like. I don't mind it.
People go
really,
against Epic Game Store like
really vehemently.
So mine started out a long time ago because GOG doesn't require a launcher.
Yeah,
No launcher needed at all.
it's nice.
Cozy, no, look, I want to have some fun for a little
What?
bit. I want to bullshit and have some fun.
What?
Why does everybody hate Epic? And
Me?
I mean, I feel like myself. First of all, I want you guys to tell me who's your least liked launcher. And everybody, if you guys are watching the show, put in the chat your least liked launcher. My least liked launcher is
Easy.
Ubisoft's.
Yep.
Launcher.
Does Ubisoft work? Does it work?
Easily.
Does it even work now? Does it even work now?
No. I'll tell you what. The last experience I had with Ubisoft, no, the experience I had before the last one, because the last one I had was fine, but the one before that was Star Wars Outlaws. I had Ubisoft Plus, and their whole thing is like Ubisoft Plus. You can play it on your console, and you can pick it up where you left off on Ubisoft on your computer. It's easy and seamless. Cloud saves didn't work for Star Wars Outlaws. The whole time, the month that I had Star Wars Outlaws with that subscription, it did not work. Maybe it does now. Probably does, because they probably fixed it, but it did not work. So when Ham says Ubisoft, I'm in full agreement. Ubisoft is the shittiest launcher on PC.
I hate it.
It's bad. It's horrible. Like Fuzzy Tomato says, EA's launcher is worse. EA, I've not had
EA's launcher is amazingly terrible. And it was the worst launcher to me until I used Ubisoft's.
I think Ubisoft, Rainbow Six Siege. I got that game at launch on PC. And let me tell you, the game itself was not the issue. It was the Ubisoft launcher. I uninstalled the game, uninstalled the launcher, and I have not touched Ubisoft games since.
It's bad. That's how bad it is.
Why are you smiling while you say that, Cozy? I need to understand why in the hell you have a shit-eating grin right now.
Because every time I hear people talk about it, I'm like, that was like 10 years ago. Well, how does it still suck?
Because Ubisoft sucks, apparently.
That's why I'm grinning like that, because I'm like, how do you still... It's like, that was like 10 years ago that I was like, oh, this is the worst launcher I've ever used.
It still is. It still is. If you used it today, it'd still be the worst launcher you ever used.
I haven't used it for about... I want to say about a year and a half. I haven't used it, but I went out of my way. Like I'm pretty sure. Like I have the Epic launcher on my PC. I never use it, and it's funny when I do use it. It's of course you guys know why.
Free games.
Exactly. I have the EA launcher on there, more or less because I have the Xbox launcher on there, and it needs to use the EA launcher to launch the games. I have several different launchers on there. The only launcher that I went out of my way to delete was the Ubisoft launcher. Like the Ubisoft launcher, I literally went to add and remove programs and said, get out of here. I don't want you doing nothing on my PC. I'll stick, like personally, I'll just play the Ubisoft game on the console. On a console, because I hate the launcher so freaking much. And it's just, I don't know. It's just annoying getting around that thing.
And the
I don't even know why I hate
that
it
launcher
as much anymore.
The audacity of that launcher to just turn on when you first turn on your PC. Like, hey, you need me? No. Nope. I don't need you.
I think you can go in and turn that off.
You can.
That doesn't happen.
You can.
The
but you have to.
Is that the Epic launcher is newer than the Ubisoft launcher. And the Ubisoft launcher has, like, how do you not improve in that amount of time? That's what I'm confused about.
I couldn't tell you. I really like, I know people hate the Epic launcher. I don't mind it. The thing is, I'm kind of with Ham in that I don't use it often because I do buy most of my games on Steam on PC. So, like, I'm not using the Epic launcher much unless there's a game that's free that, like, you know, it looks cool, I'll try it out, but I don't mind doing that. Like Alan Wake 2, I mean, you can only get it on Epic, so if you want to play it on PC, you got to use Epic. But like people hate Epic so much that Alan Wake 2 is a fucking masterpiece, and people are like, I just straight up won't play it. I'll not play that shit
Yeah,
because I
I
don't like
remember.
Epic. It
It
like
was a big deal when it came to Steam. Like everybody was like,
yeah.
"Hooray!"
I
And I
don't
was
think
like,
no, it's not on
"Geez
Steam.
Louise."
Not on Steam.
Oh,
I
I
don't
thought
think
it
it's on
came to
Steam.
Steam.
I'll double check that, but I don't think that's
I
on
thought it
Steam.
came to
That's
Steam.
if that came to Steam, then I might have to double. No, Alan Wake 1's on Steam, but Alan Wake 2 still is
Oh
on Epic.
no! What's
Yeah,
the game
people
that
straight
came
up
to Steam? What's the game that came to Steam? That I think it might have been Call of Duty then.
yeah, definitely Call of Duty because people didn't want to use what was it, BattleNet Call of Duty. Call of Duty was on, so yeah, people really. That's another one people don't seem to like. Although people don't have as big a
People are
problem with
warming up
BattleNet.
to BattleNet more
Yeah,
than
I
they
mean,
were.
BattleNet serves its purpose. The problem is BattleNet doesn't have enough to warrant just being there. It's like
having it.
Mhm.
BattleNet is more akin to the olden times where you wanted to play a game on your computer and you went to like the company's site and downloaded the game.
Yeah, I think BattleNet probably become more. I mean, Xbox is pushing for it to become more prevalent because it seems like everything they release now is going over to BattleNet.
I don't really like
Um,
that.
My issue with BattleNet is
I
it's
don't.
gaudy.
Is this
Like I
what?
don't understand.
Gaudy.
I don't.
Got it. Okay. What's up, man?
I just don't understand why they're keeping two separate things instead of just making one
I
thing.
think.
Like,
I think.
like I don't really. And if they are planning to merge them both, it'd be kind of nice to know. But like, I
BattleNet
guess they
works.
don't have to say. But like, yeah, I mean, but yeah, BattleNet works, yeah, but you're constantly updating the Xbox app, so it's just like, what are we doing?
I think they're keeping both options open right now.
Because
Because I
the
think.
thing, sorry.
No, I was just saying because I think like as not good as BattleNet is as like compared to like Steam or something like that for a lot of people. I feel like if you ask the PC community, like the hardcore PC community, quote unquote, like, hey, BattleNet or the Xbox launcher, they'll probably tell you BattleNet. So it's like I think they're trying to play both and see which one works out the best for them, especially now with this heavy focus on making Windows better for gaming. I think they want to see which one works out best for them, and whichever one works out best for them, they're going to go like, okay, we'll ditch that one, we'll ditch the other one, and just keep this one,
I
and we'll see how it goes. But
I just think the important thing to remember is BattleNet is not like BattleNet is a place like I get these others are like places for stores, like Steam is just everything. Epic is, everything. A lot of these stores are everything. BattleNet is a little different in that the people that are going to complain about BattleNet are mostly Steam diehards. The people that are sitting around playing
complain about everything.
StarCraft, a lot of people who use BattleNet are using it because it has the game that they play super dedicated. Like StarCraft people, if you're just like sitting there, go home and play my StarCraft, you don't care about Steam or
Yep.
Diablo. Like, yeah, you get a lot of new blood Diablo players, but if you really were like one of those people that was like, I've been playing Diablo since the dinosaurs roam there, you don't care about Steam. I think that's like one
All
of the
right,
defining differences.
yeah, but all right. Here's my next question to both, and it's to both of you. Has to do with this because obviously Steam is almost doubling the next person on that chart right there. Sure, it's only 4,200 votes. Sure, right, and there's millions of consoles and gamers, and there's billions probably that maybe aren't all accounted for, but they're there. Why do you think Like, what would it take to either one of you to dethrone Steam, or is that even something anybody's even looking to do anymore?
Microsoft is
Seeing
actively
that
looking to do that.
each provider, because like it seems like Microsoft's putting their games on Steam. The only one not putting their game on Steam is Nintendo. Of the notable 3 console
yeah.
developers. So like,
Sure.
so thoughts.
Microsoft's actively trying to do that though. Like, yeah, they're putting the games on Steam because it's like right now you got to kind of play the game. Like you like it'd be insane for Microsoft to be like, no, yeah, our games are coming to PC, but we're not going to put them on Steam. A lot of the PC game community will be like, well, then we're just like Alan Wake 2. Well, then we're not going to play that shit. You're not getting any money from us. So like, you got to play the game in that regard. But like, it was a couple weeks ago, whenever it was announced that they weren't working on their own handheld anymore, like their own first party handheld anymore. Like we talked about it. Like, is it a coincidence that that news comes out like a couple days after Steam's like, hey, we got Steam OS working everywhere? Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. Like, is Microsoft going to dethrone Steam? We'll see. But I think they are actively going to try to do so. And we're kind of in the early stages of that. And I think I mean,
But Matt,
like, yeah.
why would Steam want to put their platform on Microsoft's hardware or anything associated with? I shouldn't say anything associated, but like, why would they want to like be willing to be adaptable enough to be on Microsoft's hardware
To stop that from happening?
Yeah, wouldn't you think Steam would be like, no,
No,
like we're gonna do whatever we can to not be on your platform?
They would do that to stop that from happening. Because like Steam being on Xbox doesn't hurt Steam. That just gets more people using Steam, quite frankly. Like so that might do more. I mean, if Microsoft's whole thing is to like eventually overtake Steam, that might do more harm to Microsoft than it would to Steam. Because
I'm wondering where. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, like, if you're opening up the Xbox platform in a sense of like, hey, now all these stores are available to you, you're gonna have all these people like. I know the big thing with Steam is like, oh, the Steam sales, like the summer sale, the spring sale, like that's going to be a pretty big draw for a decent amount of people if it's just right in front of them whenever they turn on their Xbox. So like, I think Steam's like, fuck yeah, we'll put it on your console. Like, why didn't you ask sooner? We'll put that shit on your console so quick. Because it just gets us more users.
Well, like there's a couple things I have to say about this, and one of them is like an issue that will have to be like tackled immediately by Microsoft. And the first one is, I'm not sure where Microsoft takes the L exactly. I mean, I can see one being a clear win, right? Like, obviously, if they somehow, take, more people away from Steam by having more just all-inclusive Microsoft experience or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. I could see, but while having them available, but like maybe they're taking more eyes off of them somehow. So I don't understand how they would do that exactly.
Yeah.
But maybe they do that. But like, if they don't do that, then Microsoft and this is where I'm not sure if Microsoft's even losing. Because then it's just like, okay, well, we're just going to make sure that you run as perfect as possible on our operating system because our operating system is the most used operating system in the world.
Yeah.
And you're not going to want to just pick up and leave because there ain't nobody
Yeah.
using fucking Linux. Ain't nobody
Yeah.
out there like a percentage of people are using a percentage of people are using Linux.
Yes. Well,
So it's just
that,
like it would be tremendously horrible for Steam to just be like, we no longer support Windows.
yeah, absolutely. So like what, like the whole Microsoft versus Steam thing, like I think honestly it's probably more Windows versus Steam OS. It's not so much Microsoft as in like we want our store to be bigger than your store, Steam. Because I don't think that, like, I don't know what Microsoft would have to do to make that happen. But, like, in terms of, like, Steam being on the console or whatever, it's like, yeah, the console's running Windows. Sarah Bond said in the video they want Windows to be the best platform for gaming. The best platform for gaming features many options, Steam being one of them. So it's not like because Steam would probably want to be on the console because it gets them more users. It's also not like Xbox is losing in that scenario either. Because the thing that's running the console is Windows. Like that's the thing. And like as far as Microsoft's concerned, if this future that they're proposing comes true, I mean, Windows kind of already is the option for like if you're somebody who wants to play all of the games, it kind of already is the option. But like if what Microsoft is proposing comes true, then yeah, it's no questions asked the best platform for gaming because it encompasses literally everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar to what Cozy said. I mean, I'm asking the question just to kind of get your thoughts on it, but I have my own interpretations on it myself that are quite similar to what you just got done saying. But again, it goes back to kind of what Cozy was saying earlier. Kind of got to think outside the console
Mhm.
space and more into this is going to be a console feeling. Yeah, I mean, it's like when people say this has chocolate in it versus chocolatey. You know what I'm saying? Because they can legally put chocolatey on there, but they can't say like this is chocolate. They could just say this is chocolatey. So this is so that's what Microsoft essentially is doing with the consoles. They're like this is console-y, but it's really just a cheap pre-built PC that runs all the current gen stuff that you'll be able to play from Microsoft and other and other and it's going to be usable enough to be on par with something as traditional as like a PlayStation.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So it's just really interesting seeing how all this is coming along and how the hell, I mean, it's definitely something we've never really seen be attempted. I mean, because we've seen this be attempted by other companies, right? But we've never seen somebody as big as a Microsoft come in and say, hey, this is your PC for this specific task, and the only task is playing video games. Maybe it might have some sort of desktop mode in it, right? But like that won't be its focus. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird. I'm pretty excited to see their console, their next console from this, because it's gonna be just insanely different. I feel like it's going to incorporate more of like, and here was the next issue I actually had. I'm happy I walked in this direction because it led me back to the thought that Microsoft that the Microsoft's going to have to deal with here soon. Because if they're going this PC route, right? Remember, not long ago they announced $80 for Outer Worlds too.
Yeah.
Right? Matt?
Yeah. Yeah, you hear me?
You go to GG Deals and get Outer Worlds for probably like $60, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's the new price on GG deal. Like, if things are $80, it's gonna be like 70. It's gonna be like
Sure, but
570.
but you
But
see
yeah,
what I'm
it's fine.
saying? It,
Yeah,
depending on the reviews, it could be lower price though, right? Like, let's say if it's not reviewing
Scores
the
low.
best, it might
yeah.
it might be like $65, right? $65
Mhm.
instead of 80.
Yep. Oh,
Uh-oh.
uh-oh. It was getting a little
What?
choppy. You're getting a little choppy there for a second. You're good.
Yeah.
That key that you get from GG Deals goes into Steam, which then undercuts Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
And you're playing that game on your Xbox. How is Xbox is going to have to cheapen their games again, in my opinion, because PC Game Pass is cheaper and it gives you just about everything that the Ultimate gives you. They're going to have to restructure that. Because if our consoles are now like PCs, what does that even mean? If everything encompasses and is everywhere that you use, what's the point of a console Game Pass and a PC Game Pass? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they're going to have to combat those third-party services, like I said, that automatically go to Steam, that are, games that people are, paying for or getting somehow, some way, and then reselling them, but they're Steam codes. Like, is it going to be a thing where I type in on GG Deals and I get, Steam, and it's going to be an Xbox one as well, and they're both going to be kind of competitive prices? Is that going to happen?
Because that's sort of how it is. Like, I mean, Xbox right now, like, if you were to go to GG Deals, I'd pick a random game here, like The Alters. It's 20 bucks on 21 bucks on key shops. On console right now, to like buy it for Xbox, like a key, like they don't. Well, that was a bad example because they don't have any keys apparently for the Xbox. But usually, how it is like, the Xbox One will be like a couple, like $5 more expensive. But also, what I think, to your point, is I think the thing that they would do to like kind of, at least on the subscription side of things, to maybe get things a little bit more in line with PC, is get rid of the paywall to play games online. Because I think if your whole thing is, if this is their thing for next gen, like, hey, our console is a PC now, then, and you're offering other storefronts on your platform, what is my incentive to buy something from the Xbox storefront if I also need to be paying for a subscription to play it? I don't have an incentive. So you would have to get rid of that. You would have to get rid of that, which would in turn, you would think in theory, lower the price to be more in line with what you might see from a PC Game Pass. But it's interesting to think about. We'll have to see if they do that. I would hope they do that because that would be the smart thing to do. But I don't know. It's something to think about.
It is, and like to me, that's like just such a weird thing to think about because you're talking about incorporating all these different, um, launchers onto something while having your own launcher. Something is maybe priced $80. Let's say the new Fable or Outer Worlds 2 or whatnot.
Yeah.
But like you go to GG deals, the first thing you usually see is Steam codes that are available from like some third party website from that. And you would see some console ones and stuff like that too for like Xbox. Obviously not really from PlayStation, you can forget about Nintendo. But like you'd see some from PlayStation, but like they'd be like just regular priced. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see that like kind of fight happen there. Obviously, I would think Xbox would want you to be able to get it. I mean, there is something to think about, right? Because if you get it from Steam, but seeing, man, I'm like kind of having a conversation with myself right now. Steam has a lot of the same abilities that Xbox has with their Steam Deck, and they got their own cloud service or remote
Mhm.
play or something like that and stuff like that, right? So
Yeah.
if they buy it from Steam, they have all those abilities to play. If they buy it from Xbox, they have, the whole, smart delivery, play it on your console, but you could do that with Steam Art. So I'm just trying to figure out like what is Xbox gonna do to incentivize you to pay either more than what it costs on Steam or how you get it from a third party, or like are they gonna try to undercut Steam at all when it comes to at least their first party games? Obviously not their third party, but like their first party games, your Indiana Jones maybe 2, or the next Halo game or whatever. Obviously people are going to want it on Steam, right? Like
Yep.
if Epic makes the next game, people want the Epic game on Steam. Right? Even though they
Yeah.
probably won't get it. They still want it there, right? But like, what are you gonna do, Microsoft, to make it make sense for people to want to be like, yeah, I'm gonna buy it over there on Xbox, so I have the play anywhere and whatnot. I just don't know. Can somebody help me see what would be the benefit for somebody that's maybe not an Xbox gamer but got the Xbox because it had Steam on it? What would maybe get somebody to be like, I'm gonna buy this on the Xbox store instead of Steam? Like, I'm trying to figure out
The
why.
device, the thing is that was specifically made for Xbox gamers. That's like specifically the target demographic.
But is it though? Because
Yes.
because if you put every platform on there to be able to play, I feel like just to the regular person that may not want to buy a brand new PC, but wants to still be able to play their latest catalog with Steam and stuff like that, may then look at Xbox as, well, you have my platform on there. I don't give a damn about the Xbox catalog. Just give me Steam.
That's not a large percentage of people. Like we already know the
Yeah,
Steam
but
Deck
it's still people
has
though.
barely sold anything.
But
Uh
but it like I'm sorry, continue.
no, so what I'm saying is, they're not going to incentivize those people because those people aren't already their customers. What they're doing with these next Xboxes are trying to transition Xbox players. And
Oh
the
no,
thing is,
no, I understand that,
the
but
problem with Steam
but
is
it's gonna work both ways.
Steam is also not prepared for the post-hardware future. Eventually, you're going to get to the point where, you're going to have the lowlies that are stuck on hardware and playing whatever functions on the hardware, and then people who have moved beyond hardware. And Steam,
Okay, I want you to expand a little bit on that more, like about the um about Steam not being prepared hardware wise.
For a
right?
post
Because you
hardware
said that
future.
for a post hardware future. Obviously, like cloud are just strictly running, from another device, I guess, right?
Yeah. Um.
I mean, they've tried with the Steam machine, and I
So
mean, the
Steam
Steam Deck is
Machine.
doing relatively well right now,
So
and that's a
those
device you
devices are
can
not
plug.
post hardware.
Sure, right. You're talking about like browser gaming and phone gaming.
Not just phone gaming. That's also still in the realm of hardware. I'm talking cloud gaming. If you've seen how much cloud gaming is growing, you're going to have entire people who they have no concern for hardware. They just want to jump in a game, play, and go. And in fact, you know who it appeals to? It appeals to people who have less investment in hardware, in an ecosystem, in a storefront. Because of ease. Steam is not there.
Thoughts, Matt? You had something. I mean, you were biting your tongue there for a moment.
No, I was gonna say like I think for Xbox it's more about the fact of it's really, I mean, what Sarabon said, it's really just about Windows. Like, and Cozy's not wrong when she says Xbox is currently trying to get their player base who loves the Xbox, they're trying to push them more towards PC. And that is correct. I mean, at least judging by everything they're doing, that is correct. Um, but also, I think to your point or to your question of like, how what's why am I going to be enticed to get insert whatever game here from Xbox when I could get it cheaper from Steam? It's like you might not be. You might not be, and I think that's kind of why. I mean, not kind of. That's why we've seen historically no company, PlayStation, Microsoft, or Nintendo certainly, has never tried to do this because of that exact conundrum of like, what would then be the incentive to buy stuff off of our store? I think Microsoft's at a point right now where it's like, don't really care. Like, you can buy it from our store, you cannot buy it from our store. The thing is, though, you're going to be using our thing, and that's kind of what. I mean, we just saw this past year, or was it? I mean, this year probably also, but like last year, did Microsoft win like Publisher of the Year? So
Yeah, I believe so.
you're going to be playing Microsoft games. You're going to be playing Xbox games. It's kind of just up to you. And Microsoft wants that, but it's just kind of up to you. Are you going to be playing them on Steam? Or are you going to play them on the Windows Store? Or are you going to play them on your Xbox console? Are you going to play them on a fucking PlayStation? Like, I think Microsoft's at the point now where it's like they really don't care a ton about that anymore. They're just like, hey, as long as you're playing our thing and you're engaging with our thing, then bring it on.
Okay. Fair enough. I see 108 Dragon in the chat. I hear all that moaning and groaning from that bird in the background, and it has me wanting to bring up something else. Cozy, I'm kind of interested how you think they are maneuvering now within this like new age of gaming. So just more than just Microsoft, I'm talking about mobile gaming, Microsoft, Nintendo, and obviously PlayStation. So like I hear all that moaning and groaning in the background. I want to hear what you have to say about, PlayStation. I mean now we're hearing PlayStation being talked about. I ain't hearing no moaning and groaning in the background anymore. It's kind of weird. It's like the birds getting what they need. man, I need to get you on here, Lemon. I'd love to have you on here, especially to talk about your time out in LA recently. That was pretty dope. But what do you like? How do you feel PlayStation is maneuvering right now? I mean, do you think that it's just like, oh, they're fine, don't worry about it, or do you feel like there's something that needs to happen? And I'm talking about not gaming wise. Like everybody wants to say PlayStation has no games or whatever, right? But I'm not talking about that right now. I'm talking about like just adjusting for the future of what gaming is kind of turned into. How do you feel like they're faring?
PlayStation
now.
is Nintendo has the benefit, I always say this, of money and games, like not being very conservative with their money, and a game centric game design philosophy, and the tight marriage between their hardware and their and not outspending what they can for the fan base. PlayStation is kind of the definition of that dog sitting in the chair in the burning house saying this is fine.
Jeez Louise,
Because
Cozy. Come on now.
they are.
Matt, are you
because
hearing this?
Oh, I hear it.
let's be honest. Okay, so we see
I need your
a,
help protecting
a lot of
PlayStation for a
the
moment.
future
This
plans
woman's
that
out of
they
her mind.
a lot of the future things that they
You're not
that
getting it.
they're working toward have not come into fruition. So they're making these expensive games that are barely breaking even. And they'd be like, look how many much profits we have, but their actual, not how much revenue we have, record-breaking revenue, but barely eking by with their profit. VR, their VR efforts are failing because Meta beat them. Their live service efforts are failing.
Oh, I thought I froze.
Oh no,
About
sorry.
to say.
But yeah, their live service efforts are failing. It's
You
like
got so quiet.
their play for the future. And yes, they can make a little bit of money off of these games on PC, but the problem now is their sell was the console, was completely the console, is the console, but they aren't. Sony has a place as long as there's a large amount of people who need some cheap device to play Call of Duty on, and
But
their
it's not
sports
cheap
game.
anymore. None of this stuff is cheap anymore. Xbox isn't cheap. Hell, the Series S isn't even cheap.
See, and this is where they may run into a problem is they don't have the cloud games people want to play. I mean, they're still relatively cheap-ish. But I mean, you could get a computer that plays those games.
Huh.
But yeah.
Cozy, that was kind of tough. I
Alright.
didn't exactly think that was necessary.
Space
I think PlayStation is sitting in a well-furnished, air-conditioned room right now. It's not burning.
Wait, your voice went out.
I said they're sitting in a well-furnished, comfortable, air-conditioned room right now that's not burning. They're just kind of kicking back, watching some Last of Us. Not doing too much. Hanging out.
Yeah.
Matt, thoughts on not how PlayStation is doing, game wise, but just how you think they may do in the future. And just by the way, shout out to 108 Dragons. Lemon
I know y'all
is
people.
on the panel live and doing this damn thing.
Hey, baby mama. Hey, baby mama and bird.
Oh my goodness. Matt,
what up?
Go ahead and say what you got to
on?
say, brother.
You, bro.
I mean, in terms of their future, like, dude, if here's the thing, because Cozy's right, if they keep making, if they keep making like ridiculously huge games that cost a ridiculous amount of money to make, which again is not just a PlayStation problem, that's kind of like an industry thing at the moment, but like PlayStation specializes in that. And if that's what they're going to be doing, then bro, that's probably going to come back to bite you at some point if it hasn't already. I mean, we're looking at what was the last game that they put out? Like I'm genuinely asking. I don't remember the last game they put out was. Like the last one
The last game
I
who put out?
enjoyed PlayStation was like I enjoyed Spider-Man 2,
Astrobot, don't be disrespectful to the 1.5 million people.
Hey, I'm pretty sure it's like 2 by now.
Come on, Lemon. Don't do
but
that.
the thing is, Astrobot's not the problem for PlayStation. It's shit like Spider-Man 2 costing $300 million. Like
Well,
that's the
yo,
problem.
yo, bro, let me ask you a question.
What's up?
Franchises of that magnitude gonna cost money. The license
That's a fact.
alone. Hold
Yep.
on. You rather them not pay the money and not give us the game, or should these bullshit ass consumers buy shit? Because there ain't nothing wrong with Spider-Man 2, but it's a dope game.
I thought
But
it
it
was
didn't
good.
resonate with enough people.
It should. It's fucking Spider-Man. If you like the first one, you're gonna like the second one. If you like Miles Morales, they're all the same shit.
Maybe that's the problem?
No, it's not. Because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You can't reinvent the wheel for Spider-Man. What are you gonna do? Drive around in the back car?
You could have added co-op.
No, that would have been dope. But they
You
But
could have added co-op.
they got bamboozled by Bungie. That was suicide.
That would have been a meaningful change. I'm not disagreeing that Spider-Man was like amazing. I'm not disagreeing.
Spider-Man's
I played
good
it.
shit.
But I'm not going to disagree either way. Everyone I know who's played it loved it. But the problem is, we've seen people aren't out here buying the sequels and as many droves as they bought the first games. So that tells you can have the best game, but if it's more of the same, a lot of people might not feel like, oh man, I need that.
I
But
think.
also,
God, I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, but also the fact, like when Spider-Man 2 came out, there was a report that it cost whatever amount of money it cost to make, like 300 something million, versus the first game costed like 8 million, not 8 million, 80 million, excuse me.
Right.
It's like, dude, I like both games. In fact, I like Spider-Man 1, Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2.
Right.
Love those games.
Spider-Man 1 was longer too.
Spider-Man 1 was long, but also the fact, like, is there a jump from
And they had
Spider-Man 1 to
DLCs.
2? It did. One of them was pretty bad, but like they had some pretty good games. But, like, is the jump from Spider-Man 1 to 2 worth an extra 200 million?
Well, you gotta.
Didn't it have ray tracing?
But no, ray tracing is not cost effective. That's only system rehog. It's not price wise. But this is the problem, and it's like with Halo. Most of the developers on Halo, 67 to 80% was in house. Everybody else was hired. Those contractors. When you got 1,000 people working for 5 years on the game, how much? That's what cost the money.
Yeah,
That's what
it's a
cost.
fact.
If you had 30 people doing Spider-Man, it wouldn't cost that kind of money. But they got like 300-400 people. They're talking about insurance. They talk about advertisement. They talk about time. They got to pay these people by the hour. Because you also got to realize, them people punch a clock. And that budget goes up the longer that game is being made. A shorter window is the point. But it's like what I told somebody about Microsoft, and I got to tell you something about their vision that I was told. But Microsoft went third party for one reason. And they're not really 100% third party either. Because they keep giving people old shit. But this is the thing. If these consumers go out there and buy shit, they won't have to go that route, right? If these consumers wasn't pulled in 500 different directions because the market is saturated like a motherfucker. We get over 200 indies a month that you don't even know half of them shits is out. You ever go check Steam and see how many indies drop? It's close to 200 a month, average. We're not talking about the single A titles, the double A titles, or the triple A titles. And then all that other shit comes into the mix, right? It's a lot of saturation. 10 years ago, we didn't have this many options for games. And we didn't have, 10 years ago, we did have free to play. But let's go back 15 years ago, 20 years ago. The free to play shit didn't even exist back then. You got people dedicated to Minecraft, which is $19. You got people dedicated to Fortnite, Rainbow Six, Call of Duty Online. This shit is, everybody's pulled in different directions. So technically, when it comes down to buying these games, how many people got monthly income to buy 6-7 games a month? How many? If we didn't have fucking Game Pass, we'd be like, shit. Right? Let's keep it real here.
Yeah.
Come on.
Even people that get review codes have trouble with 6 or 7 games a month. So you talking about buying them?
I do.
So I mean that's a whole nother thing. But Lemon, I know your time is limited, and I know you had a little bit of, and I know you've been here for a little bit, so you had a chance to catch up on what we were talking about. I just want you to just kind of just say what you feel.
Let me tackle something Matt said. Matt said Microsoft Vision is really not hardware. I'm gonna tell you what they're doing. I'll tell you who said it after, not live. He said they're 100% behind hardware. They just know they can't win that battle. The next hardware will be a powerful console. It won't be no subpar console. It's definitely going to have power. That's number one. And they are 100% behind hardware. But you know what they're doing? I can have my cake and eat it too. And at the end of the day, Matt, me and you might love exclusives and buying consoles, but if you could buy one console and have everything, wouldn't you do that? Instead of spending $500 here, $500 there, another $500 on the Switch, and then you got to buy each individual game on each individual system. Me, I want to buy Call of Duty one time, Gears one time, fucking whatever, Batman one time, right? And they're looking at the market like that we can have our cake and eat it too. And they're winning. You see the PlayStation Store? 5 out the top 10 games are owned by Microsoft. 5. That's half. There's not even a fucking PlayStation game on the list. Who you think winning? Gears of War, right? They're getting Gears. One of my favorite games ever. Don't get it fucked up. That's my trio. Y'all already know. Forza, Gears, Halo. That's one of my trio I thought they would never get. That shit is the top pre-ordered game on PlayStation. Ain't Ghost of Yotei up there to get pre-ordered? Yep.
Death Stranding as well. It was I think right. Matt was the one that told me that it was ahead of Death Stranding.
Gears was ahead of Death Stranding and Ghost of Yotei last I checked.
What the fuck is going on? Listen, Microsoft is right, but they're not tapping out. They're not bowing out. They're not going to. Nobody's going to bow with hardware. They could afford to fucking put out a monster hardware. They're about to put out a handheld that costs as much as my ROG Ally X, which is the same shit, but it's going to be $800-900. You think that's for the casuals? Nah, homie. That is not for the casuals. So when people say, oh, it only sold 1 million real ones, because that's expensive. You know what it is? They're not going to put out, you got the cheaper version. You buy that. Good luck. The cheaper version of the ROG, the Z1, if you ain't got this Extreme, you might as well just go buy a fucking Steam Deck. Seriously. Because it's a waste of money. They're not playing with hardware. And that ROG Ally is exactly what I got now, and that's a fucking beast. But it's
Matt, you have that as well.
It's gonna.
I know there's a ton of people that have that.
Yeah, they love it. I love it, and it's gonna be some money though. It ain't gonna be no people are like, it's gonna be $4.99. Fuck out of here.
No, that'd be nice, but no.
Yeah,
along with that-
that'd be crazy. Everybody.
Along
Yeah,
with
I
that,
mean, I was gonna say it'd sell out like for like a year straight. If
Along
it
with
was
that,
that.
they're giving people options though. Because
I
if
mean,
you're like,
yes,
I can't afford
yes,
that much money.
yes,
Well, then go
yes.
play on the cloud.
Yeah, well, I'm not a cloud dude. I wasn't a Game Pass dude until they put one day and date, but I'm still not a cloud dude. I tried stuff on the cloud. I tested so I could talk my tech shit. But what's crazy, I'm not usually wrong. Right? I've been wrong about cloud. That shit has tripled down in people trying and playing.
Yep. Like I knew immediately. I was like, it's perfect for people who might not want to spend super much on hardware. In the future, it'll be dedicated gamers playing on physical hardware and casuals playing on the cloud.
I bought that Fire Stick Ultra 4K whatever just to test out game streaming. I don't even have a use for it. I should give it away on my channel, but
Yo, Husky, what's cracking?
that shit is crazy. People are actually playing xCloud, which is technically called Xbox Everywhere. That's the real name, but it's
We
crazy.
just had to hold out.
You listen.
Elemental is good.
No matter what the hell we think, Microsoft is laughing to the fucking bank. They are.
Yeah.
They are.
That's
they
a
winning.
fact.
They
That's like
winning.
the biggest fact of all.
Yo, I'm like, listen. When they said Gears over there, and then dudes went crazy on PlayStation, I just wanted to remind them to be a little bit petty. I said that fucking game is 19 years old. Just saying. And y'all going crazy. That shows you people can't afford multiple consoles and multiple games. They want to play where they want to play. And if you get
That's
that option, who are we to say anything?
You know, Lemon.
Microsoft is the Windows of fucking gaming right now, and they're doing what they know how to do best: software.
So Lemon, I gotta ask you this while you're here, because when you walked in on Matt saying what he was saying, we were talking about this in particular. So you can see the question on the screen. It says prices don't make sense. How will Xbox make pricing make sense since Steam is on their platform and usually cheaper? You know how you can go like GG deals, you can go to all these different websites.
Okay.
Why, like, can you maybe give us some insight on what you know or maybe heard of about how would this make sense when you usually can get a game for cheaper on Steam than you would on Xbox, sometimes even their own games?
Okay, let me. All right. Who, that was your question? Oh, that was
Yeah, it's just part of the topic.
Okay, because I was looking like, oh shit, that's just a TSWS. I thought it was somebody in the chat. Let me say this. Is Steam the biggest digital store in the world? Is
I
it?
think so.
Yeah, no, it is. Does that stop people from getting those cheaper deals as CD keys? Nope. There's a lot of games on console that's not on PC, especially day and date. And remember, the Xbox handheld, which I told everybody Jez was lying. I said that out loud. I said it's not the Microsoft handheld. It's going to be a ROG Ally. You can ask Dirt, because I told him 3 months ago, said it's a ROG Ally. It's not an Xbox. Only thing they put on that motherfucker was software. Everything else is fucking ROG Ally. But why it's not an Xbox exclusive piece of hardware. It's a fucking PC. PC. Yo, Matt, do you still play your games on Game Pass?
Yep.
Do you play your Epic Store games if you buy something from Epic with your Steam on there?
Sure.
Oh, so why would Xbox not do the same shit? It doesn't make sense. Why would you eliminate something? Is Steam OS technically a Windows app? Yup, that's where it came from. Is Epic Store a Windows app? GOG? Amazon? You don't see that shit on fucking Steam. Am I right?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that shit ain't on Linux. That's Windows applications. It's a Windows device. Why would they eliminate shit that people pay license for to be on their software? Because it's not their hardware. It's not their hardware. I don't care what people want to call it. It's not an Xbox. It's a team up with Microsoft changing the software, which is going to be dedicated to next gen and possibly a future handheld. They do not need to make a handheld. Why? Because every laptop, every PC, every Surface Pro is Windows. They don't have to fight over, we're going to make the most powerful handheld. Why? When Asus will do it, Dell will do it, Lenovo will do it. Why do they have to do it? They don't got to do shit. They're already winning. Every Windows PC come out, they got a hand in your wallet. Everything. There's no reason for them to do it. We could put our handheld on hold. Well, we don't need it. They don't.
So here's a kind of extra leg to put on the ladder, or maybe an extra step to put on the ladder. An extra question, essentially. Will this then put pressure, in your opinion, will this put pressure on anything like iBuyPower and like any of those like PC manufacturing kind of companies at all? Because this is essentially, because what you're saying is you're selling a PC, right? That has a PC. More of an OS, more of an OS that is specific for gaming compared to getting something like iBuyPower, and it's just desktop mode. As soon as you turn it on, you gotta then turn it into something like that.
Okay, no, but look,
but that's Windows.
There you go. I had told Kay Asante while we was at the event, I said, yo, yeah, we got ROG Ally X's. They're gonna update them. No, they're not, Lemon. I said, it's fucking Windows.
Well, yeah, why wouldn't they?
What the fuck? You think they're gonna do that? I swear to my daughter, 2 minutes later, I'm on Twitter. I tag them. Asus said this software is launching on the ROG Ally X, and next year we dropping it on everything. Not just Asus devices. Every Windows PC handheld is gonna have this software. You know why?
Yeah.
Because it's Windows. This is why they don't have to make a handheld. They can win. It's going to work on PCs. It's going to work on everything. They're making a universal entity. It's going to work. They don't got to make shit. Sir X-Men was like, yo, they should. I said, why? How many fucking people, but I got a Surface Pro 8, right? How many people own a Pro Series? Not many. Because they don't want to spend that Pro money.
The reason the Duo was canceled.
Talk that shit. I got one of them shits too. Part 2. But I'm just saying, we gotta just look at things. We can't blow things out of proportion just because it's gaming. At the end of the day, this shit is just Windows. That's all it is.
I'm gonna ask a question that may be kind of like dumb or just kind of like simple-minded, but I just think it should just be kind of out there, right? Just so you can get your thoughts off while you're here with us, Lemon. Matt can get his thoughts off and whatever. But let's see. Well, first of all, Blind Giant 808 had the 23 months of membership saying, what up?
Let's go.
What up,
Let's
panel
go.
in chat. So I appreciate your service to this channel, brother.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
ton.
Let's go.
There you go. It is.
Let's go.
It is. But all right. But so, and as I said, this is kind of a simple, wild question. But what's the difference to you guys from Microsoft to versus like what Sega did? Now they're just a platformer, but obviously Microsoft has a whole operating system, which Sega kind of just they literally only make games.
Right.
What's the difference between Microsoft kind of alleviating themselves of making their own hardware by using other people and just having an OS versus just making game?
But what are you talking about? They're not stopping making consoles. That's really their main hardware piece.
But their console's a PC. Their console's a PC, and you guys just said like it won't like push up against like iBuyPower or anything like that because everything's a Windows. So like, I guess what my question is like, what's the benefit of having this if everything's going to be able to have the OS?
Portability.
It'd be portability also. I mean, for Microsoft, brand recognition. Like, because iBuyPower, CyberPower, they all use Windows, but everybody's so used to Windows that nobody really associates Windows with anything at all. So it's like, you can put Windows on everything. Nobody's thinking Xbox or Microsoft when they boot up their PC.
Right.
Because it's just there.
Right.
But like, Xbox offering the Xbox Ally, whatever they're doing with the next generation of Xbox, or whatever comes after that, it's Xbox. That's brand association. So it's like that's a big win for them, honestly. I mean, that's something that I think any company would like to have.
I mean, they got 97% of the fucking PC market of the world. Of the world. Not United States, the fucking planet. That's a lot of people, bro.
All known civilization.
Right. On the planet. You do know they have moved up to the number $1 trillion company, and Apple's number 4, and Nvidia's number 2. They are the juggernauts. And they're just showing that if they do their software right, they can continue to kick you in your fucking teeth. Now, what the question should be is, what the fuck is Sony gonna do? You still ain't got your PC shit together.
See, Hamothy?
Stop it, Cozy. Leave them alone. They are not sitting in a room on fire. They are sitting in air conditioned.
I'm not gonna do
Everything
it.
is fine.
I'm not gonna
Everything
do
is
it.
fine.
I ain't gonna do like my brother King David and say hashtag no PS6, but they gonna have to convert quickly because they are just getting on PC. Their PC ports are still down bad. You gotta realize Microsoft got PC development devs on their squad. Nobody ports PC games for Xbox. They do their own shit. That's step number 1. You gotta learn how to put your games on PC.
Xbox didn't have to hire Nixus.
They ain't got it's Nixus and somebody else they hired. I can't even think of the other name. It was somebody.
Isn't it Iron something or
No. Is it Iron Galaxy? Is it not?
No, it can't be Iron. No, it's not Iron Galaxy.
No, sir.
Yeah,
It's not Iron Galaxy, but it's something like that.
It was somebody affiliated with the fucking Ouya. I remember that shit. I remember that shit blatantly.
That's a tough memory.
That was before NetEase. NetEase has some goddamn experience. Them dudes were just winging it. The last ones, but the name will come to me. But
The G one, the G. It began with G, didn't it?
Listen, sis, if I knew it, I would spit it out. But I can't even. That's no Diddy. Wow. But I'm just saying, they got a real problem.
Iron Galaxy Studios.
No, it's not Iron Galaxy, bro.
Last of Us Part 2, Iron Galaxy Studios.
Yeah,
it is Iron Galaxy.
They may have did that game, but that's not who they bought first. They bought this company I'm talking about.
They bought Nixus.
No, Nixus. Before Nixus, they bought somebody like 4 or 5 years before Nixus. But when it comes to me, I'm going to tell you. But at the end of the day, Sony has to, you see the president say, oh, we need to put our games everywhere. We need to put more faces in our games. Yeah, you better. Microsoft has been trying to do this system that they're talking about just in general since fucking 360. Shadowrun. Remember Games of Windows? Used to go on GameStop, see Games of Windows. That was on 360. And then you saw shit on game. It was terrible, right? They couldn't figure it out because the architecture of the consoles wasn't close enough to PC. We're not in the same day and era.
We're there now.
We are there. So they've been doing this shit since 360. So people thinking this shit is some new shit. Nah, they've been trying to do this. They've been trying to do it. I remember I got Shadowrun on PC and 360 just to try the shit out. And I said, this could work. It was a terrible connection to console fucking horrendous. But I said, if they figure this out, if they bring them PC people in, you got to also look at, this is what's crazy. Being that they've been putting their games on PC, you do know Forza Horizon and all these games have been #1 on Steam for at least a month while they dropped. People keep forgetting that shit. Steam is the biggest digital store in the world. That's why Epic tried to compete. They cannot compete. That's why they tried to do exclusive deals. It didn't even fucking matter. Steam is #1. They are not going to eliminate Steam on a Windows device. That's fucking suicide. Don't make sense. But it's a PC. You're not buying an Xbox. But the next Xbox is bringing PC people in, right? Is bringing console people to the PC side. You think Steam give a fuck? Where you buy the game at? You buy on your desktop, right? You buy a game on Steam. You can play it forever on any computer you buy. Right? Technically. So, it's a win-win. It's a win-win for gamers. But we are super oversaturated with gaming. And I don't want it to be a crash, but we're seeing evidence of too much shit in one place. Layoffs, fires, people being fired, closing the studios. What you think that come from? There's too much shit out there. There's too much shit. All you gotta do is go to Steam and see every week a new release. You'll be like, what the fuck game is this? I bought 3 games from watching somebody stream on PC that's dope as fuck. And I said, what the? I never even heard of this shit.
Play them.
Yeah, I damn shit don't. I'm at the 40-hour mark for this pay period alone as of tomorrow. But it's just like everybody got bills. If you fucking home all day, you can play all day, but it's not the average person's reality. So it is what it is.
Even if you're home all day, which I was for a little while, it was still still not.
It's still not it. Remember, I was home for 3 years on comp when I broke my kneecap, right? The whole thing during COVID. I was home. I played more games then. When I said, when I get back to work, y'all won't see me like that. No, sir. So, listen, we just saturated with games. But Matt, the question that we was talking about the division, I asked a hard question like, yo, what y'all doing with y'all hardware? Because people really believe y'all giving up hardware, and they was like, that's so far from the truth. That's not us saying that. We do not feel like that. We're gonna give our core what they want in our device that we put out. I was like, thank God. Because I don't give a fuck, man. I asked the real questions. Fuck that shaking hands and buddy shit. I want to know what we and I got the answer. So we'll see. Their vision with that next Xbox. It's definitely gonna be it's gonna be interesting because it's not really what they doing. Sony, what the fuck is your response? If you build another console that's regular and you don't join what they're doing, you may sell more because of your name, but you ain't gonna make more because right now they're killing you on your store, killing in their store, and killing on Steam. It's crazy. And we all was like, not with it. But I guess they got motherfuckers smarter than us, right, Matt?
Yep.
I was like, nah, man, don't put Halo. Please don't put Halo over there.
Right. Yeah, I feel that. Lemon, I don't know if you still have time. I'm gonna hit up the last topic though.
Let me go.
The last main topic.
Let me go over there. Wise old gamer. So
I'll see you there.
all right, go on ahead and sign out though. Let everybody know where they can find you and stuff.
On the way, Dragons TV, man. Go check out my content. I just finished working on a video that should be up by Monday. To switch to frame rate of games, performance, resolution, and a lot of games got updated with game share, whether it's online or device to device. So I'm gonna put that coverage out. I'm doing the older titles first because I only got Mario Kart World. I'm gonna get Diddy. I'm gonna get Donkey Kong though. They finally show a boss fight. So
Yeah,
I ain't
you
want-
have you have the Switch 2. How are you liking it so far?
It's a 360.
Okay.
It got voice chat. It makes the games look better. You getting updates for free. Some of them are paid. I don't give a fuck about Zelda. I ain't like that game. But I'm satisfied with it because I actually could talk to people. You know, I can I don't gotta play Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 and it runs like 12 frames a second. One of my favorite games runs like dog shit. Bayonetta runs like dog shit. Mario with Bowser. Bowser sections was horrible. That's a quick preview. It runs great. Still hiccup a little bit with the Bowser though. But a lot of games, updates, ARMS looks fantastic. Very smooth gameplay. Split screen, four players, split screen, 60 frames. Constant. That was a quick preview. So go check out the video. I ain't telling y'all no more in this chat.
There you go.
108 Dragon TV, motherfuckers.
Thanks for sliding through, brother. Hope to talk to you soon. Hit me up.
Yeah, how do you leave? Oh, I see. See y'all later.
All right,
Later.
peace. All right, sweet. That was a good time kicking it with him. I haven't talked to him in a while, but now we are on to the last main topic, and this one should be a fun one. This person is very adamant on what he believes, and I just wanted to talk about it between all of us and see if you guys feel the same way, or if you feel like he's lying, or do you see where he's coming from, or yada, yada, yada. I don't have to keep throwing it out there for you. But anyways, let's go on ahead and listen to what he has to say. Let me know if you can't hear it, but you should be.
Gaming nowadays sucks, and there's no more good games to play. Saying that is probably the easiest way to trigger most modern gamers. However, if y'all actually took the time to listen to them people who say that, I promise you realize that they kind of have a point. Cause see, most people who say that come from an era where you didn't have to, quote, expand your horizons to find a good game. Cause back in the day, if you wanted to find a good game, it was easy. Here you go, here you go. No sports, that's fine. Here you go. Want a good detective noir story? There you go. Wanted a shooting game with some over-the-top gunfights? Here you go. Want GTA but not GTA? Here you go. Need a racing game? Here you go. No microtransactions, by the way. This. Even this. I mean, goddamn, bro, I can keep going.
Then y'all say the only people who say that are people who only play 2K and Madden.
You do realize that those same people are the people who had more than 2K and Madden back in the day? Let me walk you through it real quick. See, back then, we didn't need to just rely on Madden for our football fix. We could go NFL Street. We could go ESPN 2K5. We could go NFL Blitz. We could go NFL Game Day. Hell, fuck it. Let's do it. NFL Quarterback Club. Bro, we didn't need just 2K. We had NBA Street. We had NBA Jam. Man, I bet half of y'all ain't even heard of NBA Shootout. ESPN Basketball. NBA Inside Drive. The GOAT of them all, NBA Live. We had variety back then. We had options, and those games came complete. They didn't come with no microtransactions. Y'all remember when this dropped? Yeah, this shit wouldn't have happened back then. Stop getting upset with people when they say that there ain't no more good games left when you got games like this that come out and it take them 2 fucking years to fix the shit. Because when this dropped, it was finished. It was complete. Wasn't no goddamn patch. Oh yeah, y'all remember this? Midnight releases? Ain't no more of that shit. This was a vital part of gaming culture when there was games that was worth standing outside all goddamn night for. Oh yeah, y'all remember this? Probably not. Couch co-op. The fuck happened here? Another very vital part of gaming culture that was swiped away from us because of corporate greed. Oh no, we don't want 4 of y'all sharing one console. We want all 4 of y'all to buy your own console and just play online like a bunch of fucking dweebs. Like damn bro, whatever happened to family fun games like Guitar Hero and the Rock Band series? Everybody in the living room stressed out mashing the buttons when this motherfucker trying to beat that one song. I don't think y'all realize that when y'all tell people that they have to expand their horizons to find good games, that you're literally proving their point. Because if gaming was currently as good as it always has been according to y'all, wouldn't nobody have to dig for shit. It would just be readily available in their face. Oh yeah, one last thing. When people say there ain't no more good games left, please stop suggesting these super niche ass games that only appeal to one type of person. You know damn well everybody ain't into turn-based RPGs. Cut the shit. So do I think gaming is dead? No. But is it as good as it used to be? Fuck no.
Thoughts?
Wow. Wow.
Cozy, you first, because you're very opinionated on this type of stuff.
He was triggered because when the people were telling him, because people were right about, he's like, I'm mad. My favorite genre. I mean, I get being upset that your favorite type of game has been whittled down into just a few. And but that's largely because, you know, those games, you know, all the others were not being successful. It's about, you know, he talks about like the corporate greed, but really, you know, games require money to even make. The other thing to say is like the couch co-op thing makes me laugh because there's still plenty of couch co-op. Is he talking about like, you know, I want my, you know, visual graphically impressive couch co-op? That's not coming back. You know how much work it takes to get a couch co-op game up and running? That's not coming back. Um, but
Husky in the chat says co-op is still alive. Split Fiction is probably going to be nominated for Gotti, and
he
yeah,
probably
I
wouldn't
agree
play
with him.
that
It's a
game.
different. It's a different type of way of co-op now because we're in a different age. So I kind of
He
agree
probably wouldn't
with
play.
what
Someone who
Husky's
complains
saying.
like this probably wouldn't play Split Fiction. They wouldn't play any of the plethora of of um of co-op games available because it doesn't meet their arbitrary nostalgia baked memories of GoldenEye
Yeah.
or Halo or something he played when he was a kid. Um, but it is still alive. We know it's still alive. Yeah, and there's plenty of.
Co-op is very alive right now. Helldivers, I mean, all that stuff. Like
Well, no,
co-op
that's not couch
is.
co-op. He was specifically
Well, that's
saying.
not.
Co-op in
None of
general.
this stuff is couch co-op. But the thing is like he was talking about couch co-op dying, and I mean,
That's not
I
true
feel
either.
like I feel like it's pretty dead compared to what it was, but it's just like it would have been dead back then too if it was as accessible as it is now. So it's just kind of like a product of the time, I guess,
Hmm.
because there was no linking your NES or Super Nintendo or hell, I mean, there was some on their original Xbox, but that's where it just started, and it wasn't that. Like, it wasn't that reliable
Games weren't
compared to
there.
now.
This is probably coming from someone who has like a more rigid taste in games, just based on his example of like games that he wanted to see. Like, if you have like five or less genres of games that you're willing to play, then of course things are gonna look dire. Like, I don't like anything. It's like someone takes you to like a buffet, but you know you can only, but you're on a very strict diet, and you're like nothing here is good because you don't like pasta, you don't like pizza, you don't like vegetables, you don't like chicken.
The
He's
thing that I do kind of agree with them on, which I don't really think it's the fault of the developers, is like there not being a multitude of a type of game, right? But
hmm
usually that's not on developers as much as it's on licensing, right? So like
Yeah.
we don't see like he brought up the NFL games and the basketball games. Well, we can't blame the game makers for that. That's the NBA and the NFL that you have to talk to about that. They're the ones that said, "Hey, we didn't like the way NFL Street portrayed our players. Hey, the blitz is a little too close to the cuff for us. Hey, NBA Street, stop it." Like like a lot of people blame gaming on licensing issues when it has nothing to do with the. I'm sure the developers would love. So I'm sure there's a developer somewhere that'd love to remake the Warriors. I'm sure there's a developer that'd be more than happy to run with the Midnight Club franchise and reboot that with all real cars and have that kind of budget behind it. I'm sure there's plenty of people that want to make an NFL game. Doug Flutie, which was in the NFL, wants to make pro football games all the time. You see his maximum football game is out every year damn near, but he can't do nothing licensing wise with the NFL because they don't want their image put out there any type of way. They want it very specific, and they want to be able to call the developer and say, "Hey, get that out of there immediately." But what were you saying, Cozy?
I was just saying, but based on like the examples he gave, he has a very narrow. He seems to have a very narrow of what he would play. Like you could recommend him. He's like, I don't want to play a turn base. Like he's like in reference to Baldur's Gate 3. There are plenty of non-good turn base.
There's another thing I kind of feel like does need to get fixed for some of his issues, because I don't think that every issue he had was invalid. I think there was a good amount of them that were valid, and I think there is a plethora of them that were kind of personal problems. But one that I kind of like feel like he is kind of leaning into without saying it is just the amount of time that it takes to make games. And that's been talked about within the gaming industry of like, Sony with their Insomniac leak talking about making shorter games with the Marvel type of series and stuff like that because it costs too much to make and it takes too much time to make. We just got done talking about Techland not that long ago, saying they're tired of making 7-year-long games. Microsoft, Matt Booty talked about it not that long ago that they want to make smaller games that don't take smaller games with a big punch in them, which essentially means shorter length games. And I'd imagine they'd want to be somewhat budget friendly as well to the people that are buying them, seeing that they're shorter games. You can't be charging $80, $100 for a Senua length type of game, which they've showed that they're willing to do that. So I mean, I don't know. Being a gamer today is definitely different than being a gamer back in the day. Expectations are a lot different than the reality. But I do not think. I mean, he didn't say gaming was dying because he did say that at the very end of the video. He doesn't think gaming is dying, but he thought it was better than before. I don't know if I agree if it's better than before, because before I spent a lot more money and got a lot less return and to be honest, I mean, he's saying that there was a plethora more of games available then, but that's just not true. The fact of the matter is there's easily more games today
I also wonder if
than there was then. Maybe. And I guess to his point, there isn't the output of traditional big AAA games that there used to be.
No, there is.
You could argue that. But as to say that there's not as many games, or the games are just not as fun, or having to say expand your whatever. I mean, that's, as much as he hates that, that's kind of true. You do kind of like if you are actually a gamer and not somebody that just hovers around when a good game comes out and then you don't play it for weeks or months or whatever, then yeah, like at some point you're gonna have to expand your taste, just like a person that's really big into music. Like, sure, you may be good at a style of music, but if you're trying to reach more people, you've got to expand the way you do things. Make it more visible for other people to kind of get into. Matt, you have any thoughts on this whole modern gaming sucks kind of idea?
I think saying that I think it's, first of all, I think for me personally, he is incorrect. To both of your guys' points, this guy seems like he has a specific kind of game that he likes. Obviously talking about, and you mentioned it with the licensing with like NBA and NFL and stuff. It's like, sure, like if you're upset that we're not getting, NBA Street 6 or whatever the fuck, fine, I get that. Like, it would be cool to have NBA Street. It would be cool to have NFL Street. Like, it's undeniable. But also to your point, it's like that's a licensing issue. This isn't something. This isn't something like gaming just one day decided. Some fucking like omniscient being was like, no more, no more, no more of that. That's never gonna happen again. It's not like there's some just all-knowing thing named gaming that decided, hey, we're done doing that forever. It's licensing issues. It's also, to the co-op point that you guys talked about, it's kind of the time we're in. Couch co-op is not emphasized much anymore in terms of like a big AAA game offering you couch co-op, because let's be real, most people aren't playing couch co-op. Some people are. There is still a market for it, but most people are not. And the market's going to go where most people are. So that's a whole other thing. But in terms of like modern game, here, I'll speak for myself. Gaming now, to me, is so much better than it was when I was a kid. The only thing that I would
Rachie agrees with you.
Dude, 100%. Like, the only thing that I would say kind of sucks now for me personally, and that guy's video was a lot of personal opinions, is like Halo isn't as popular as it used to be. Like, the only thing that can make gaming now like even better than it is if like the thing I loved from when I was a kid was still on top. That's it. But that's like, times change, things happen, it is what it is. But to be like, oh, my favorite thing isn't the best thing ever anymore, is so like, do you still enjoy it? For me personally, yeah. Like, also on top of that, I'm playing way more games now than I ever did. Dude, when I was a kid, all I played was Halo, Unreal Tournament, Crash Bandicoot every now and then, a little bit of Spyro, like very small amounts, like Evil Zone on PS1. I played a lot of that, but like my it's funny because he was making like points about saying you have to expand your horizons. He doesn't like people saying that, but like my horizons when I was a kid in terms of gaming were pretty shit. Like,
Yeah.
like I liked
Same.
a couple of games, and that's what I liked, and that's all I wanted to play. Like, if you would have, dude, if Baldur's Gate 3 existed when I was, I don't know, 10 years old, and somebody threw that in my face and was like, play this, I'd be like, get the fuck out of my face with that. No, I don't want to play that. Dude, it happened with Final Fantasy. My friend was like, you gotta play Final Fantasy 7. It's fucking incredible. I played it. I was like, dude, this shit sucks. I don't want to play this. But like, now I'm playing more games than ever, and more different and more genres than ever before. I used to only play FPS games, really. I'm playing RPGs, FPS games. I'm playing action adventure games. I can't wait for Death Stranding that's coming out. Death Stranding 2 comes out in a couple of days. Like, just this year, I played Avowed. We got Assassin's Creed Shadows, the Oblivion remaster, Kingdom Come Deliverance, Tainted Grail, Fall of Avalon, and that's just so far. Split Fiction, that's just so far this year. Like, that's not even counting what happens the second half of the year. So, like, does modern gaming suck? I forgot to mention Doom the Dark Age. Dude, like, does it suck? No. And like, I get that he says he's tired of people saying you got to expand your horizons. Realistically, you might have to expand your horizons, dude. I know that kind of sucks to hear, but like, you might have to do that because gaming now, like, dude, I just got the Borderlands Pandora's Box collection because I'm excited and I didn't expect to be, but I'm like I'm like genuinely excited for Borderlands 4. And like I haven't played any of the I mean, I played the first one with a buddy like all the way through. But like I've never beat Borderlands 2. I've never beat Borderlands 3, not for lack of trying. Um but like I'm playing through those games because I'm excited for the new thing that's coming out later this year. So like I don't get where I don't know. I just feel like people get kind of caught up in like negativity online, and not even online, but just in general, like everyday life kind of thing. Like it's easy to be like, this sucks because I have a lot of nostalgia for this. It's like
Interesting, because Sapo puts on here, which I had this quote up here for a little bit, but but Sapo even says he did miss one huge point. Gaming media, it's a huge part of gaming industry. A bad review can kill a studio, and it's
Thank
been
you.
weaponized. All right, said the last part. It's been weaponized by Sony. You need to relax, Sapo.
Oh, well, yeah, I don't, hey, that's up for debate.
Man, you
But
don't need to you don't need to say anything about that part.
that's up for debate. But it it's like gaming media, and I would say even beyond gaming media, in terms of like, hey, I work at IGN or I work at VGC or Forbes or whatever the fuck. But like gaming media now is, and I talk to you about this all the time, man. Every time I log on, not every time, but many times when I get on YouTube, I'll see a video for a game because I'm talking about a game, YouTube, like, obviously it's listening to you talk about shit. So it's like, oh, he likes this game. We're gonna show him videos about this game. I remember back when Starfield came out, it was like, hey, here's videos about Starfield. But then slowly over time it started becoming, here's why Starfield's fucking awful. Here's why you should hate Starfield. Here's why you shouldn't be playing Starfield. Starfield sucks, and so does Bethesda. And like oh shit, there was a game, I forgot what game it was. I was literally just thinking about it. I can't remember what it was. But like I had that happen with another game recently where it's like I was talking about it. Obviously, it's listening to me talk about it. It's feeding me that stuff in my algorithm, but then eventually it switches from being positive to like, this game sucks. Like, this game sucks. Like, I saw um shit, I forget who it was, but somebody was like, so I played Borderlands 4 early, and dot dot dot, and it, like, obviously kind of implying that it's not good. Like, whenever I see I played this early, dot dot dot, with no explanation, I'm like, oh, you must mean you had a bad experience. Otherwise, you would have said something positive to get people in on the video. And it's like, I think that's that's also a huge problem. Is like like just trying to get clicks, whether it's for an article, whether it's for a video, whether it's for your Twitter, whether it's for whatever fucking social media you use. It's just so much easier and beneficiary to be negative online. And I feel like because of all of that negativity, there's this general sentiment like everything sucks now. And it's not just gaming, it's movies, it's TV, it's fucking going outside, it's food, it's
These
everything.
nuts.
Yes, Cozy, it's these nuts. But it's like it's like everything sucks because everyone's telling you everything sucks. At a certain point, specifically talking about gaming here, again, you don't want to hear it, but you probably do need to expand your horizons. That's just the way it is. Or you can continue to be upset about not having NFL Street and NBA Street, which I get it. It sucks. It'd be cool to have an NBA Street and NFL Street. I get that. But it's not the end of the world, buddy. There's a lot of really fun shit to play.
It would be cool if they made like a knockoff version of it, because shout out to Fuzzy Tomato says right here, we got a alternative soccer game today. Seems like it's doing pretty well, and they're talking about the one from rematch from the same people that brought you the beat 'em up game. God dang it.
I know I forget who you're talking about, but it's like
God
it
dang
was
it!
a game that it was a game that's
Why am I
nothing like
slipping?
rematch. I can't remember what. In fact, I'll
I
look it up
can't
right
believe
now.
why I can't remember the name of that dang game because it was fantastic. Beat 'em up game.
Rematch. Yes, Sifu.
Sifu. It was Sifu. So yes, from the same people that brought you Sifu made rematch, and it does look pretty fun. It looks interesting, but I can see where Fuzzy's coming from. Like, yo, like y'all can still try to do this. It's not like the NFL has the rights over football. They just have
Over
the
the
right
sport.
over
Yeah.
over the names of the players and the usage of their logo and their audio and all that stuff. So,
Isn't a new Mafia coming
what's
out?
cracking, Vinny?
Yeah, new Mafia's
Yes, the
coming out
Mafia
in
just
August.
went gold. Actually,
Like,
Good for
he
them.
should be like, begging for a Mafia code instead of nothing to play.
Yeah, he might like mom. I mean, judging by like the games he listed off, action game,
I think
story
he'd like
based.
Mafia,
I think
but
I
it probably
think yeah,
doesn't meet some sort of arbitrary criteria.
could be, could be. I don't know. Yeah, gotta
Sapo
play more.
says. Well, first, Sapo said the YouTube algorithm is insane. I saw one short
Mm-hmm.
about cats, and
Yep.
all I get are recommendations for cat videos.
Oh
And
no.
one time, I was Googling dog food because my lab needs to lose a few pounds. I got on YouTube to catch a stream, and all
Yep.
I saw were ads for dog.
At least YouTube
100%.
does targeted ads. Like, I feel really annoyed when I'm watching something on some streaming service and all the ads are like for things that I have never looked up and would never buy. And I'm like, why? Like, YouTube, I get it because, I see things that I've looked for, but I'll be watching like Tubi or something and I'll be like, I don't need USAA insurance.
Oh yeah, ads for shit that I don't care about. I don't like that.
I tell you what I don't like is like I just say something about my health and then it's
Yep.
like, are you or a loved one living with mesothelioma? And
Yeah.
I'm like, excuse me, I'm not dying. Why are you giving me this ad? I don't want
Yep.
this ad. I mean, obviously, I'm using that one as a joke. That one's always on like TV as like paid program stuff like that. But like, there are times where I'd be like talking about like my daughter and like some of the like a medication that she takes, which is fairly common, right? But then I start getting ads on it on YouTube or on my phone or just something random. So yeah, I like it and hate it at the same time, right? Because it's like at least it's targeted to something that I may need, but at the same time, it's like, would you fucking stop listening to me? God damn it! Like I don't need to see this. Like I was talking about Mind's Eye, and I kept getting those ads on YouTube.
Oh, bro.
For Mind's Eye, even though I have the paid version of YouTube, so I don't see ads. Like whenever I'd like click on like a Google a link or whatnot that's
Link.
not linked
Yep.
to my YouTube.
Yep.
Then you start to see that type of stuff. So
And shout out.
there they go.
I want to say shout out to Mind's Eye.
Oh, don't do it. Don't do that. I knew you were going to say this.
Shout out to PlayStation because I think I put it in our group chat and I went on to pre-order Death Stranding 2 and I was like, I can't wait to pre-order this game. And the first thing I see on PlayStation Store, must see, it said, was Mind's Eye. And I said, you gotta be shitting me. I don't know how much money you guys paid Sony to get that ad, but wow, was it worth it? I don't know. I don't know. Because that's bad.
Maybe a ton of people were buying it on there. You don't know.
Bro,
it's a top played game.
It was insane to see that on PlayStation, but then like a couple days later, I think it was Bill was talking about, I don't know if they said it on social media or something, but like there's this thing now that if you get Mind's Eye PlayStation's like normally no refund ever, but that's one of the games where they're like they're giving out refunds for that. And it was just so funny to see like a game that a game that's so in such a bad state that PlayStation, even PlayStation's like, okay, guys, yeah, you can get a refund for this, but it's like must see on their store. Like, yo, you guys gotta see this shit. And I'm just like, that's a tough look. It's a tough look. But shout out to Sony. Shout out to Sony. Yeah, Safo in the chat. I heard Sony was handing out refunds for it. Yeah. It's like, how are you handing out refunds for it? But it's like the number one thing on your store. They took that down quick though, so I guess props to them for doing that. But I just thought it was funny.
All right. Well, speaking of shout outs, shout out to Hazardor Gaming. He had a pretty cool little sum up for the last week that I just kind of wanted to go over with you guys since he did all the hard work to throw it out there. Not a lot of people checked it out, which a lot of people usually check out his stuff, so I think that's crazy. But this is like this is kind of a wrap up of what's going on. If you guys want to step up and say something, you can, but I'm just going to kind of rattle these off. But it was but first of all, Sony has started to remove regional restrictions for PlayStation titles on Steam PC.
I know.
Windows, yeah, right. I mean that is a big deal. So
yeah,
for sure. Windows Central, Microsoft is working on next gen Xbox cloud servers. Also, they are exploring a cloud only subscription. Cozy. That's interesting. Wonder how much something like that would cost.
Yeah, I wouldn't get a cloud only subscription, but I do think it's a good idea to make it maybe charge like PC the same amount as PC Game Pass.
How much is PC
Sure.
Game Pass? It's like
$10.
$12. 10, 12, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's like 10 or $12. Wu Chang Fallen Feather previews came out. Stellar Blade developers shift up. Independence could be at risk as Tencent shares are too high. Investors fear. That's not great. Shift up also. Stellar Blades surpasses 3 million units in cumulative sales across PS5 and PC. PC version sold 1 million copies within just 3 days of their Steam launch. Warhammer 40K Necromunda, I think I said that right. Hired gun developer Serum on Studios split off from Focus Entertainment. Teases a new title. Okay. Activists in Singapore investment funds become a major shareholder of Square Enix, increasing their stake 8.98% to 10%, just a little over 10%, 10.01. Next up, Donkey Kong Bonanza Direct announced by Nintendo for this upcoming, or it happened 2 days ago, so there you go on that. 2K and Gearbox Software confirms Borderlands is $70, just in case you didn't know, especially since Bro was talking about how he worked a job and paid $80 for his. I mean, Randy, that was unnecessary information and something that people don't need or even want to. But
why not?
Okay, but yeah, they did not stick to their guns, and they're $70. Even though it's still too expensive for some, and Matt already seen it for $60 on GG Deals. So if you want to play it on PC, there you go. Also offers $100 and $130 addition to Borderlands 4. Nexus Mods has been sold.
Oof.
From Software, Dark Souls narrator and actor Pick Sen Lim has passed away at age of 80. Crash
Yep.
Team Racing Nitro Fueled sold 10 million units across all platforms. So Crash. I bet Twan's loving that. OG Final Fantasy VII sold 15.1 million copies. Okay. Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time remake is still in development. Good news.
Jeez, yeah, forgot about that.
Right? Isn't that over on for Amazon or no?
I don't think it could be because I know. Well, no, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I'll look it up, but I don't think it is.
Okay. Okay, we'll come back to that when you figure it out. The first Berserker Kazan will be getting a free DLC to celebrate an anniversary June 26th for all players who own a copy of the game. FBC Firebreak reviews at whatever you may call a 75. So I'd say playable, but maybe not the most exciting. But from what I heard, it is fun. But when I looked at it, Matt could tell that I was super duper stoked about it. Yeah. But anyways, the Blood of Dawn Walker, which is from the people that previously worked at CD Projekt Red, gameplay reveal event is set for June 21st.
Let's go.
Bungie's marathon has been delayed, but from what we've heard is indefinite. So Hasdor just says it's been delayed. We've been hearing indefinitely. Where did you hear indefinitely from, Matt?
That was hold on. That was a report I saw on Blue Sky. It might have been Shinobi shared it out. I'm not entirely sure.
Well,
I know
regardless, it ain't coming for a while. If
yeah,
at
it's
all.
not going to be here for a good long while.
It has about as much chance as The Last of Us Online, in my opinion. Maybe The Last of Us actually might have more of a chance, just because that's still a popular IP.
Yes.
Marathon was never popular. All right, Skate Early Access
Let's go.
launches at the end of the summer of 2025.
And
register before June 27th to get access to play final playtest starting July 2nd.
Yes.
Matt, go ahead.
I was going to add that in because I didn't know that was on there. But yes, if you want to play the playtest, which will be an open playtest, you just got to sign up for it. Just go to their website, sign up, tell them what console or platform, PC, console, whatever you want to play it on, and you're good to go. I went ahead and signed up. I was in the playtest a long time ago, so I'm interested to see what's all changed since then.
Yeah, hopefully it looks a bit cleaner and runs a little bit cleaner, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so we talked about this earlier, but in case you weren't here to see it or weren't here to hear it, Xbox and AMD announced a partnership for multiple devices, including next generation of Xbox consoles. Activision and Treyarch Games confirm Call of Duty Black Ops 7 won't have jetpacks, which it was rumored. That's kind of interesting. Because I was totally expecting some sort of advanced warfare type of pouncing around or something like that. But if it doesn't have that, I'm totally thinking now wall running is part of the game. Because if you don't have jetpacks, I'm thinking you're running to the bottom of a wall.
I could end up looking really and sounding really stupid for this. I have kind of high hopes for specifically the campaign of the next Call of Duty because what they showed at that Xbox showcase,
That looked really
I'm st-
cool.
that looked so trippy. That looked like something that Remedy would make.
Right.
And I love that kind of shit. But again, it's Call of Duty. It shows you one thing. It doesn't always end up being exactly like that. But if it does, I am going to be very happy about that.
Absolutely. I feel that. All right. Next up is WB Games to restructure into divisions based on 4 key franchises: Game of Thrones, Mortal Kombat, Harry Potter, DC Universe. I mean, I feel like it's interesting that they're announcing this when it already kind of felt.
Huh, yeah.
I mean, because that's all they got, right? So it's just
It
like,
is.
okay, you're restructuring to do all of what you got. Okay.
Big deal.
Anyways, okay. Legacy of Kain Defiance rated for PS4-5 in Korea. Nearly 3,000 Nintendo Switch consoles stolen from a semi truck. So,
Uh-oh.
okay.
Yeah, that's rough.
Oh no. Nintendo's just deactivating and sending cease and desist.
They just a
But-
bomb on them. They just blow them up.
Right? Just yeah. They could tell when it hasn't been hit with the scan. And it just explodes in your hand. Anyways. Minecraft is now optimized for Series S and X with graphic enhancement, update, vibrant visuals. All right. Okay, I mean, thanks for. Oh, now I lost where the hell I was.
Yeah,
Okay,
Minecraft.
that's where I was. Okay, cool. I just don't know why this thing popped up to the side. It's kind of. But anyways, it says EA plans to reveal the new Battlefield game this summer, which I've been hearing a lot. I mean, there's all these leaks that are supposedly happening with that game, but I think it's pretty. I feel like they're managed leaks just to kind of get more hype around the game, especially since there's been a lot of trash talked about the prior Battlefield and Call of Duty as of recently. I feel like they're kind of just setting themselves up to have a big reveal. Really, all people want is destruction back. They want destruction back, and for it to be a balanced and make sense experience. I feel like it's I feel like it was balanced in the sense of like fighting, but in the sense of like some of the map sizes were just like, to me, they were kind of unnecessary for as little as the map kind of did.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was way too big maps. Also, like probably scale it down because I forget what the big selling point for 2042 was. It was like
It was the weather,
six-
and there was barely any like weather effects and stuff like that.
well that, but also like
There's a forge too.
It was like 32 v32 before, and I think they bumped it up to like 64 v64 or some shit.
Yeah, it was
And it
supposed
was
to be
like-
a massive battle, right?
And it was like, yeah, nobody asked for that. I mean, it's cool that you did. Like, if you want to do that, that's cool and everything. But make that like a mode. Make that like a
Yeah.
mode. Don't make it the primary focus because that's not necessary. Most people would much rather play on a smaller map with more chaos than a map that's way too big, but it has more people on it. I don't care about that. I'd rather play on the original.
I mean, I've always thought it'd be cool to have like, you know, a massive war with a lot of people and a lot of stuff going down. That's cool, but like there's also I don't know, it just doesn't feel quite like you would want or like what you'd expect to be happening, right? There's not this like there's not as much as, and I never felt like there was as much insanity with that as they anticipated. I feel like if they want to give us a wildly massive amount of people, it just flat out be like 150 versus 150. But until then, you should probably try to scale down and just kind of figure out like what works. And as you say, as you said, Matt, try not to make it your whole personality. You can incrementally bump it up and make them bigger and bigger as time goes on, just to kind of see what people like. But like, people already bought you for a reason, so don't change
Yep.
what your bread and butter is. Like, and then that's where they lost a lot of people, especially like with the destruction. Like you have no destruction and you go completely across the map to find somebody, and then unfortunately possibly die. It was tough. But anyways, I'm continuing on. Rumors, Studio Shift Up has officially started developing the Nintendo Switch 2 version of Stellar Blade. No official confirmation. Studio got dev kits, so that's interesting. Studio Shift Up gives over 300 employees Nintendo Switch 2s as celebration of its 3 million units sold milestone. Yeah, that sounds like that's definitely coming to Switch 2. I don't see why they give them a bunch of shit that they can't play their game on. Yeah, that just doesn't make any sense to me. I think that's definitely coming to the Switch.
Because the Switch 2 is hot stuff.
I mean,
It's all the stolen Switch 2s.
There you go. There you go. That's pretty tough. Yeah, Shift Up's the one that knocked off that semi. That's good. they made that guy shift down. But anyways, unannounced God of War, a Greek project that was in development at PlayStation, has been pushed to 2026, says Jeff Grubb. Borderlands 4 previews are positive. Sony reportedly interested in buying Warner Brothers streaming and studio assets, which is interesting. And hopefully they do, because it seems like, I don't know. My only worry is that Sony currently, and I'm going based off of feeling. I'm not going off of like all that I'm saying is the truth. But like, Sony getting Warner Brothers would be pretty cool in the sense of you already do superheroes, Insomniac crushes them. You know, you already have a pretty good rapport with like beat 'em up games, so you know, Mortal Kombat I feel like wouldn't be in like bad hands. And let's see, yada yada. The thing is Warner Brothers is kind of having trouble keeping up with the times, in my opinion, and like kind of energizing anything that they may not already be popular with. And Sony also currently has that issue. So I don't know what it would mean if they got together. Because it's just like, I don't know. I mean, obviously they got creative people that work on both sides of these places, but like the allowance of creativity is different than, you know, the amount of the amount of creativity that you have, right? So I just don't know what to like. I could see that being a really good deal. With Sony getting Warner Brothers, and I could see them punching out some wonderful wonderful action games from the DC universe, or have a good have a good Mortal Kombat come out. But like, I just don't know what they would do to expand on what they have yet to try, because it seems like both companies recently have tried new things and both have failed hard at new things. So I don't know what they would do for each other exactly. I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts before I continue?
Nah. I agree with what you're saying about Sony and Warner Bros. Kind of having the same faults. But I also wonder, even buying it, like, what exactly specifically are they buying? The gaming division, the film streaming division?
It said streaming and studio assets. So
I mean, studio assets, as in like they're just their studios. I'm
Film
assuming, like,
yeah,
studios?
like I'm assuming it's both film and game studios, right? Like it's a studio asset. So I'd assume it's just all studio assets.
Could they
yeah,
afford that? There's just some rumor that some PlayStation fanboy started.
it's a
No,
lot of money, probably.
it's been a rumor from more. I mean, if Hazardor is usually saying it, it's pretty well documented. And I mean, I've seen some Sony guys saying it, but I've also seen someone else other than Hazardor say this as well. So I think that there could be some truth to it. They're just won't know quite now. Like I said, it's
Imagine it
just
also might be scrutinized in a bad way.
I don't know. It could be just out there just to see what the investors kind of think about it. Personally, if I was an investor, I wouldn't be too stoked about it. Personally, just because both like I don't know how they would serve each other like that well, other than maybe like movie rights or something like that, or doing something TV wise, making
Yeah,
something out of that. But
movie rights are.
in the sense of gaming, I don't know how it helped.
Well, they have Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, I mean that is true. Harry Potter is a big deal, and if Sony could
But
say, "Hey, we have Harry Potter," that'd be nasty.
I imagine they would run into a trouble with the gaming aspect of it.
Hmm. That's something that we're gonna have to keep as a topic for another time, because if this rumor, remains, if it stays on a true path, then we'll definitely be talking about it in the future episodes. Uh, I think I'm saying this right. Remaster, The Mystery of Soulless Army, reviewed 81. I don't know what that game is, so hopefully, if you do know what it is, you like it.
Nope.
I don't know. Capcom Spotlight announced for June 26 at 3 p.m. So there's a little showcase from Capcom that you can check out. Onimusha Way of the Sword won't be open world and pushing and punishing as in Soul titles. So it won't be open world and as punishing, I think is what it's trying to say, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
All right. Ubisoft Halifax is unionizing. Good for them.
Uh-oh.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Marvel Cosmic Invasion previews came out. The House of the Dead 2 remake launches August 7th for Switch and PC later for PlayStation and Xbox. Twan is doing tricks on it right now. Beat
Yeah.
Saber, and this is nuts right here because this tells you all about what you need to know. Beat Saber is ending support for PS4 and PS5, PSVR, and PSVR 2 starting in June of 2025. Will still be purchasable, no new updates - content. That tells you everything that you need to know about PlayStation VR 2.
That's what I said earlier. I knew it.
That it's thriving. It's just crushing it.
They're not as
Man,
accessible as
such a fucking jerk, man. Such a fucking dick. Why would you say that?
I
Because it's
mean,
just so good.
it's not even that it's like a bad product. It's just, lack of support, lack of so much.
lack of any type of first party love from that. They came out with fucking Horizon and called it quits.
Well, the
Horizon
first
climbing game. That's what you get.
Astrobot.
Yeah.
No, they should have just really had that studio, their VR studio that they
Astrobot
shut
should have been
down.
all up in there.
Yep, Astrobot, but I mean the first ones, and so why wasn't the second one? But they should have really had their VR studio just make a a game like PlayStation Home, milk people for their money.
The fact that they didn't put backwards compatibility
Yeah.
in that device was like
Pretty cool.
kind of screaming that they wanted to die. Like, not that they might die, but like, hey, we kind of want to. Like, I don't understand how you would do that. Like, it's not like the VR category for games is like insane, especially for a proprietary product. So, like, why the hell would you then just wall off the last generation that didn't even have that much? Like, that's, to me, that's so opposite of what the Wii U did with the Switch. Like, why would you do that? Like, obviously some of those games had major attach rates. Like Cozy just got to talk about Astrobot. Like that game had an amazing attachment rate to the original PlayStation VR. So why the hell wouldn't you do that? That's just a simple. It's a simple miss.
Because they were
That's
too
a
busy
simple
closing
miss.
their VR studio.
Because they're too busy crushing it.
Oh man,
Everything is fine.
I remember a time not long ago that some of us on this panel, maybe it was just me, I don't know, probably was just thinking, man, Xbox missed an opportunity of not putting a VR out there for the Series console.
I thought you were gonna say thinking that PlayStation, the PSVR 2 looked pretty cool.
Oh no! I still think that PlayStation VR 2 is cool. I just don't think it did enough at all. Like, it just like it didn't do enough. It didn't have enough going for it. The games that were there, you could just, for the most part, just get on the Meta Quest. So it was just like, and then and the Meta Quest, is so much more functional.
And it has mixed reality.
Exactly, and you have that too, which is massive. Being able to see through and do stuff still is like such a big deal, and you're not tied to any other device. Like, you're not tethered to nothing. So I mean, you can be if you want to, but it's a choice versus a must in something that's more expensive than like it just, like, so much of it made little sense. Like, the quality of the PSVR 2 is phenomenal, but the use cases is just niche at best. Very niche.
Yep.
But like, I mean, honestly, I still want one, but I probably wouldn't want to pay more than $200 for that. Unfortunately, and I know it's worth a lot more than that because of the quality that's put into it. But it's just like, as much as I'd be using that, and it's tethered, it doesn't really. And honestly, I'd probably just play like Gran Turismo with it, and like maybe a couple other games, but like, their library is not great. And I don't want to wear something if I don't have to.
If I got a PSVR, it would I'd play Gran Turismo. There's like nothing else on that thing that I mean, like, I guess, is the new Metro game coming to the PSVR? I think it is. Maybe I'll try that. But like, outside of that, yeah, it's just not super enticing. I was expecting them to get like Half-Life Alyx or something But
Man, I was
even
expecting Spider-Man. I was expecting God of War,
Yeah.
like you being Kratos and just like swinging that axe, or throwing the chains around. Like, I was thinking you're going to do something cool like that. I mean, I think everybody and their mom was expecting Astrobot.
yeah, I know Twan was.
Oh yeah, 100%. That was one of the buying points for him, because he is like, I know they got to do something Astrobot on.
Oh my god, I
And
forgot he bought a PSVR too.
That
he
is
did.
insane.
I almost did as well, but I bought a Steam Deck, and then I remember being like, man, I wish I would have got the PlayStation VR too. And I'm telling you what, I'm happy I got the Steam Deck instead, because the only reason I wish I would have got the PSVR 2 back then is because a few weeks after I bought the Steam Deck, the ROG Ally was announced. I was pissed. But I'm also excited that I didn't buy that, because then I'd end up wanting probably the updated version for the stuff that's going to be coming out. So my Steam Deck purchase ended up being just fine, because I play a lot of emulation on that. It's fucking great. But anyways, continuing on, because we don't have too much left. Final Fantasy Tactics, the Invalis Chronicles does not include the War of the Lions content. Original version source code gone. That stinks. Liza P has sold 3 million copies. That game, I know Matt's been wanting to get back into that, because there's a difficulty slider and some stuff that they added to it. There you go.
No one should be able to play that game, but
it.
people who play it on the hardest difficulty.
Well, that's too bad, because I'm
Yeah,
definitely
Matt's
not
not a
doing
real
that.
gamer.
And I'm having
There
a
you go.
great time not being a real gamer, but I'll tell you that. It's fun. It's nice and relaxing too. I like it.
Oh my goodness, this man. Anyways, Blood Message AAA single player action adventure game announced by NetEase Games for consoles and PC. Developers behind Lies of P will be getting bonus pay early, also paid vacation, and Switch 2 consoles for hitting 3 million sales. They're getting,
Cool.
I mean, oh man, it sounds like Shift Up and the developers behind Liza P really got that semi.
Oof.
Yeah, man.
Everyone's
Funny how they
getting-
got all those switches, isn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting.
The semi
Thinking it's an inside job.
sharing is caring.
The game business, most third-party Switch 2 games posted very low numbers. One third-party publisher characterized the number as below our lowest estimate, despite strong hardware sales. That kind of goes to what Cozy has always said.
Yeah.
Switch owners know what they want, and if they wanted third-party, they would have got an Xbox or PlayStation. But like, I think another thing that third-party developers need to remember is, like, their games will eventually sell more and more as people start to recognize that this is a decent place to play those games. So as long as publishers stay on top of giving a damn and optimizing it correctly, you'll see stuff like people when they were saying this Cyberpunk looks better than it did on PS5, right? Like, there's people that want that thing to perform correctly and right. So developers need to just kind of stick to doing what they need to do to get the game to work right. It'll sell a ton eventually, maybe not the first year. I'm sure a lot of people are a little nervous with seeing some of them third-party games on there and like, yikes, why would I do that instead of just getting it somewhere else? Anyways, I digress. AMD, Lisa Su on Xbox partnership. We talked about that earlier. Publisher Techland says they want to cut. They want to switch to 3 or 4 year development cycles and avoid taking 7 years to develop sequels. We talked about that earlier as well. Embracer has reduced its workforce by over 1,800 people in the past year. That's a nice way of saying firing. All right. Bloomberg, Microsoft is planning to cut thousands of jobs next month. Firing again. Little Nightmare showcases set for June 24th, 2025. Gears of War Reloaded multiplayer beta has been extended to June 22nd, so you have 2 more days to get down on that. Digimon Storytime Stranger previews. Final Fantasy 16 Complete Edition is in top paid games, number 11 on Xbox US Store. So some people are buying that game. Raydu Remastered, I know, right? Yeah, it's available, so it's kind of nice, I guess.
I saw
but Raydu, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I saw someone was like doing the whole thing like, that game didn't even sell on Xbox, and it's like I don't know why they bothered bringing it over. And it's like, well, I mean, and then that news came out. It's like, well, that's funny.
Yeah.
It's
Raydu
weird.
Remastered is banned in Korea. Go ahead, Cozy.
I was gonna say it's weird the way people get so territorial about a games that they didn't even make. My thing is, if I love a game and it's only in one place, I want it to be everywhere because I want everyone to experience that glory.
I remember when Kojima announced that he was making a game with Xbox, and people just lost it.
People are like, he's no longer loyal.
I swear,
He's not a good game developer anymore. He's washed.
It's wild. It's just really wild the way people act like they're owed.
How dare you?
People, are owed some sort of allegiance to my device. Most game makers want their game everywhere.
You gotta repent.
I think Kojima likes making games for PlayStation, but he also really enjoys money, and he really doesn't mind if people are making the money in places outside of PlayStation. So, I mean, I would go as far as saying Kojima's favorite platform is probably PlayStation, but would he then be so biased to say I don't want money? No, and I think just your general businessman would agree with that decision. But I mean, that's just me. Anyways, Nintendo. This is the last page, by the way, before we'll start doing our exits. But Nintendo confirms the banner Metroid Prime Beyond is now is out now is incorrect. So I guess that's not going to be the name for it, is what they're saying. Nintendo Switch 2 has outsold PS5 digital and Xbox Series S and X in Japan lifetime sales. What?
So it hasn't outsold the PS5. It's just outsold the PS5 digital version, the one that they made 5 copies of. Yeah. I mean, it will.
I'm not too surprised. I'm not too surprised about that. Nintendo Switch. I mean, people are probably head over heels for that. Xenia Xbox emulator Dev and Jez Corden deny Xbox Classics claim. Final Fantasy, I said Final Fantasy. Fantasy Life I, the girl who steals time, will add a new mode named Roguelike Open World with next free update. So there's that. Pearl Abyss denied Crimson Desert's launching November 2nd. So that game, I think that game's coming out next year. I just don't.
Did they even say it was 2025? Or
they've said multiple times it was 2025, but like I kind of don't believe them at this point. I didn't realize. But I am very excited for that game. It looks amazing.
The game looks sick.
Windows Central ROG Xbox Ally launches late October. So ROG Ally to launch late October, according to Windows Central. Studio Camellia Kickstarter success. Alzara Radiant Echoes is shutting down, and then Fallout Shelter surpasses 230 million installs. That is it. We have finally hit the end of the episode, and I just wanted to end it up with a bunch of random news that happened within the last week, just so you guys, if you guys were interested in it, you can look it up for yourself and find out more stuff about it. But I just wanted to at least give you a heads up on it. All right, so let's go ahead and go around the table. Matt, where can they find you?
You can find me on YouTube, Matt Likes Games, videos every week over there, podcasts every week. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern is the two-player podcast with myself and him solo. This past week, I had to stop it in the middle of the show because we got a tornado warning, which was pretty fun.
Oh,
so
that's why. Sorry.
Yes. Yes. So there's that. We'll be back next week as normal. So look forward to that. And then Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern is the L3R3 podcast with myself, Hard Days Mike, and it's me, Twan. Then Fridays, you can find me here on this channel, 4 p.m. Eastern, for this show.
All right. And Cozy, let us know where they can find you.
I already collected mine. They're giving away the full versions, the full unpaid versions. I mean, the full free premium versions. No ads, no anything. Anyway, you can find me here on Fridays, and then afterward you can find me getting wasted with Wise. Otherwise, you can find me where you find all Cozy Belugas. Sale on the internet.
Simple enough. All right. And obviously, like I said, my schedule is a little shaky, and Loke is still figuring out his situation. He's building some stuff from brick and mortar right now, stone. He is from the ground up right now, trying to figure some stuff out. In a positive way, he's just not happy that it's taken so long, as usual. But he's an impatient man, and it is what it is. But hopefully, I'll be back by Wednesday. I know I have a show on Thursday for sure. I have a interview that I will be doing with a person that you guys may know or may not know, Jay Duck. He's a really big Starfield fanatic. He pretty much does content specifically for Starfield all the time. That's like his entire persona on Twitter, at least, is Starfield everything. So I wanted to talk to him because I was really big into Starfield and just see what he's really excited for. Maybe show off some of his things and his like gameplay and also mods that he's been recently messing with. I know that he's really big into Star Trek with it right now, and he has a whole like actual looking deck where they actually all sit down and stuff like that. It actually like looks pretty similar to a Star Trek ship on the interior instead of everything just looking like it on the exterior. So anyways, you guys can check me out on that this upcoming Thursday. That will be a little bit later, probably about 9 p.m. Eastern, 7 o'clock my time, because I'm now living in the mountains. But yeah, that's where you guys can come to expect me next week, hopefully on Wednesday, but for sure Thursday and Friday as usual for Bullshit. So thanks everybody for coming out. Make sure you guys hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new. We'd love it. We'd love to have you guys come back, continue having these conversations with us. But we are out of here. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day and weekend. It's your boy Ham Solo signing out. TSWS Gaming, letting you know as usual to keep it gaming or keep it moving. Peace out.
Ooh.
They said we said, they said we said, they said we said, they said